So, who's up for Old Trafford? The winners tonight will be just 80 minutes away from that biggest night of the Super League calendar. Castleford facing Warrington. It is the Tigers' biggest match for years against a team aiming for 3 grand finals in a row. Just joining us, the team news looks like this. Darryl Powell's tinkered with his lineup again. Mind you, having lost 41 points to 0 at Saints last week, I suppose he had to. Kirk Dixon's dropped to the bench, his place on the wing taken by James Clare. A blow for the Tigers that Kiwi international James Webster's out. His place in the centre goes to Michael Channing, while Mark Sneed makes a return to the side because Liam Finn is left out. Up front, Darryl Clark returns to the starting 13 against the club he joined at the start of next year. Nathan Massey returns to the run-on side at loose forward. All of which means that Scott Wheeldon, who was on the bench last week, is joined by Dixon, Milner and Millington. All 3 started the game against St Helens last week. Now, Warrington have got Matthew Russell out injured following the collision with McGrath Lulawai against Widnes. So the versatile Stefan Ratchford steps in as the last line of defence. Elsewhere at the back, they are unchanged. In the forwards, Michael Monaghan swaps places with Mick Hyam for a place in the starting lineup. Ben Harrison moves from prop forward to loose forward. And on the bench, Paul Wood returns from a one-match ban for punching Eddie Pettiborn of Wigan in the last of the regular weekly rounds. So another perfect night for rugby league. The pitch in magnificent order. And you know, it's getting to autumn time when the leaves start to fall and there's a touch of fog on the tops of the Pennines as you come across to the ground here at Castleford. And of course, October the 11th looms large, the grand final, and Warrington know the road. They have been there the last 2 years and they are desperate to make it 3 in a row. They've brought a mighty band of supporters with them as well. They hope that they will do the trick. But Castleford, they will outshout them, they will outnumber them, the Castleford supporters. A little piece of club history, a first ever home playoff tie in Super League for this club. Can they rediscover their zest of the summer? Well, if they can, it would help make 2014 a really special year for them. They're seeking a first playoff win in 15 years. 23-16 they beat London in 1999. Having seen off Wigan since then, it has been 5 straight defeats, and apart from 99 against Leeds, they haven't managed more than 14 points in a playoff tie. I think they've got to score more than 14 tonight.
Yeah, spot on, Eddie. And this man, Michael Monaghan, we know the quality and the skill factor from the hooker. And it will be a tremendous battle against Darryl Clark, of course. And let's hope that this official, Phil Bentham, gives them plenty of room. I'm with you, Eddie. This ground is in perfect condition. So we should be given the opportunity, providing the official gives them a good 10 metres. It could go anyway tonight. And the opening 10-15 minutes are going to be extremely important. Can the Tigers get their defence sorted out? It failed miserably last week. And can Warrington, can they hold on to possession in the first half, which they failed to do last week against Widnes?
Discussion already from Michael Monaghan. I think he's complaining about the height of the kicking tee that Ellis was using there.
I think it was more a bigger complaint about the ball. He thought that it was an old and tatty ball and he wanted a better one, a cleaner one certainly. Said it's a playoff game, it's dirty.
Well,
they won't mind if they put that dirty ball all over the goal line and score the try. Never mind what it looks like. Let's get on with the quality. That's a good hit. Boy, that was a good defence there.
He was. Ellis on Gareth O'Brien. Here is Stefan Ratchford. Ratchford looking to get the ball offloaded in the 4th tackle. Michael Monaghan restored to the starting lineup and clobbered by 3 Castleford defenders. O'Brien is in there, so here will be the kick from Myler just inside his own half, and that's going to be far too long. Oh no, it actually scuffed off the outside of the post there and dropped.
That's tremendous kick, isn't it? It's amazing how the ball, even a dirty one, can just bounce anywhere in the in-goal area. Good defence from Chris Hill, something he'd done all the way through this season. That looked a touch high.
Justin Carney goes down under the challenge, and this is Oliver Holmes. And so far, opening 2 minutes, defence is very keen indeed.
Is it ever? You can see there Chris Bridge went over the top of the shoulder. They realise this is sudden death. This is the last throw of the dice. This is where you get into each other. This could be cruel. You beauty.
Hubie almost gets the Tigers to the halfway line. These two, of course, could have faced each other in the Challenge Cup final last month. But Warrington lost their semi against Leeds, while Castleford made history at getting to Wembley for the first time in 22 years. Now it's Old Trafford, the prize.
Yes, Eddie, and there's exciting matchups all over the field. I'm particularly looking forward to see how Michael Channing, playing right centre for the Castleford Tigers, deals with Ryan Atkins, the left centre for the Warrington Wolves. And on the other side, Shenton, very competent defender, very good attacker, against Chris Bridge, equally good in both of those departments. I think, though, in the Atkins-Channing contest, the Warrington Wolves might just shade it, and that might become important in this game.
O'Brien gets the ball away to Myler. Here comes Ratchford chiming in. He's found Chris Bridge. Monaghan, as ever, on his right shoulder, but Shenton deals with the threat on this occasion. Down he goes. There's Chris Bridge, with a little bit of help from Mark Sneed as well. Gets to his feet gingerly, Bridge. Ratchford was the dummy half. This is Waterhouse. And Waterhouse tries to get the ball away, does get the ball away to Michael Monaghan. He then finds England. England helps it on to Ben Harrison. Harrison goes down.
Well, looking to get away with that. It looked as though there was a little bit of a hand in there. This is a high bomb.
It's a great kick as well. And well taken. Very well taken by Luke Dawn.
Yeah, under a lot of pressure. It was a good kick, that. The one thing that Tony Smith, the Warrington coach, will be happy about was he touched there. Well, it looked maybe that Rhys Evans maybe had a touch while he was both feet off the ground. But the one thing that Tony Smith will be happy with is that Warrington have not dropped the ball, something they did so often last week. Possession is vital.
That's Darrell Clark getting up close and personal with some of the players he will be operating alongside next year. He's off to Warrington for 2015. The deal was done a good 18 months, 2 years ago, and he's been in effect loaned back to the Castleford Tigers for this year. There's a charge down from Harrison. It's fallen perfectly to Atkins, and Atkins is going over for the first try. First try of the match to Ryan Atkins. Charge down from Warrington, something they do so well, so effectively, so often. They charge the kicker down in the hope that they get the ricochet. Harrison got it. Atkins goes over. He marks this his 150th appearance for Warrington with his 15th try of the season, and Warrington have the dream start.
Well, it's all about putting yourself about in the field of play. Harrison certainly did that. It just drops neatly, doesn't it, for the centre, Ryan Atkins. Well, Castleford coach Darrell Powell will be very disappointed with this. It took an eternity, didn't it, Jamie Ellis, to get that away. It surprised me that Jamie Ellis was stood second wide of the man passing to him. There was somebody in front, and that split second allowed Ben Harrison to get the hand. He's completely baffled, is Darrell Powell.
It's always a risk, isn't it, when you charge down a kick? I think those Warrington players will remember doing it in last year's grand final in the second half, where the ball went against them, and they didn't come up for a try on that occasion. The game obviously ended up in defeat for Warrington, but you put pressure on the kicker. It's a philosophy that Warrington believe in, will help them over the course of the year. It's just helped them to get the first try tonight.
It's his 13th rather playoff, 14th playoff appearance for Ryan Atkins, 13 previously, and his 6th try at this level. Now then, Ratchford, the England international, new contract signed this week. He's at Warrington till the end of 2018, and 42 goals he has kicked so far in 2014. Can he give Warrington the 6-0 lead? And he most certainly can. And it's just the start that Warrington dreamt of. They lead here against the Tigers.
Well, a little bit of a confusion there, and you can see he didn't have to. A lot of the Castleford fans thinking that Ben Harrison was offside, but it was a very laboured pass, a very laboured play of the ball. Nothing on the wide shot that can convince me otherwise.
Right, let's go straight down to Bill.
Eddie, only a few minutes gone. We're on the 4th ball of this game. Unbelievable. After that try was scored, Warrington threw the ball that they were complaining about originally off the pitch. A new ball came on. That was used for the conversion. A new ball was on the kicking tee for the restart. That was thrown off the pitch. Another ball's come onto the field. I think they might be happy with that. They're certainly happy with the start they've made.
Well, change your ball to change your look in many cases, I suppose. Certainly do on the golf course, and let's hope Europe do over the course of the next 3 days.
Here. This is good play by Warrington. They are very, very confident. They looked very nervous, didn't they? Against Widnes last week. Not so tonight. Neat little chip over the top by Myler. He nearly caught them.
He nearly did, but Carney got to it first.
Good work by the winger, Carney. He anticipated it a little bit more than what Luke Dawn had as well. Neat little chip over. Was he obstructed? No, said the official.
Well, the one thing you've noticed here with Warrington, they really are controlling how quickly Castleford can play the ball. They're aware that a quick play the ball without defender set is a problem here, really. And there is another problem now. Castleford have come up with an error because they haven't got that speed around the ruck from which they've been at the best this season.
And Dawn got a clatter then on the head in the collision. In fact, they both collided. Was it a...
Joel Monaghan is down. And boy, this could be a knee problem. Yeah, the knee hits the head of Dawn.
Well, this is reminiscent of the grand final last year, remember.
It's an accident. There's nothing untoward to that. You can see Dawn's going backwards, and that will not do the cartilage or the knee joint any good whatsoever. And you can see that Joel Monaghan is in excruciating pain.
He is, and I think that Luke Dawn is seeing stars as well. Now, while there's a break in play here, you might notice that some of the Warrington players, indeed all of the Warrington players, are wearing black armbands on their left sleeve tonight. There it is on Chris Bridge, and this is a mark of respect and in memory of one of their former greats, the captain of the team in the 1990s, Greg Mackey, who so sadly passed away yesterday in Australia. Thoughts with him and his family, of course. And just on Greg Mackey, there was a special dinner organised. In fact, there is a special dinner organised in aid of Greg Mackey on Monday at the Halliwell Jones Stadium, and at the behest and request of his family in Australia, that dinner will be going ahead. And there will be plenty of us from Sky Sports there to support. Brian Carney, myself, Angela Powers, Paul Cullen. Paul Cullen, a former player, a playing colleague with the great Greg Mackey, and as I say, deep condolences to the Mackey family.
He's a man, Eddie, that played the game tough, and all of these players do. I'm just looking at Joel Monaghan underneath us, trying to run this injury off. They are brave, these athletes. Their body gets stunned with a serious-looking injury. He's going to do his very best to try and loosen off his body and stay on the field.
Yes, he's still out there. This, though, is James Laithwaite. Monaghan is just flexing the knee on this near side. It doesn't look brilliant at the moment, but he's trying, as Brian says, to run things off. This is Myler. He gets it away to Waterhouse.
But he could
he's lost that as Waterhouse. Was a little fumble.
It hasn't been seen by the official.
And it's been picked up brilliantly and then knocked on by Anthony England.
It was a shocking pass. You really can't put a lot of effort on that, but this is, I agree with you, Eddie. He seemed to lose it slightly.
Or did he? Second, third look, maybe not, you know.
Oh, well, he got away with it, but
this one's lost.
It was a shocking pass, wasn't it? There's no chance for England to swoop down and get that. There's a problem in back play with one of the Castleford players. It's Massey.
Yeah, Nathan Massey requiring treatment. You can't blame any of them for feeling the pinch on both sides. And Castleford, they've played more games now than any other team in the competition. Leeds, of course, met them at Wembley in the Challenge Cup final. Leeds' season's over. Castleford hope theirs isn't tonight, but they have played every game since the start of the season, Castleford, and maybe that's a reason why they've just lost a bit of the zest from the early part of the campaign. That's a good kick, though, that Ratchford has collected, and it's not a bad chase led by Sneed and Holmes. Massey making his way back, hopefully. And Joel Monaghan is A-OK. He's in centre field. That's him on the ball now.
No better way to prove whether you've run the injury off is to take it up right straight through to the forwards. But this is an impressive start by Warrington. They certainly look confident.
Well, Massey looks really badly injured, Bill.
Yeah, they tried to keep him on. The initial impression was that he was going to stay out there, but he's taken an eternity to get from his own 10-metre line up to that point in the field, and the physio saying that he can't continue. Massey is still out there. There's how it happened. He got whacked on his knee.
Very
he's still
similar.
packing down. Whether he's going to be able to run this off like Joel Monaghan's rubbed his run his knockoff, we'll have to see. But they've got Grant Millington, I think, ready to come on if Massey can't continue, but he's still out there.
Sorry, Bill, still going to the injury report. It was a great shot from Justin Carney. It's payback. Just a couple of minutes earlier, it was Chris Bridge and Trent Waterhouse that picked up Justin Carney and dumped him to the ground. The big number 5 has got his revenge on that occasion.
Well, it looks like the end for Massey, doesn't it? He's taking him off on that far side. Looks like he'll take no further part in this.
Yeah, the
really is troubled.
The injury mounting for Darryl Powell. Lee Jewett didn't quite make it. Mariano didn't quite make it either. But Shenton's out there for Castleford, and he's found a little gap, but it's quickly closed down by Hill as Massey hops his way off the field, helped by 2. That was Darryl Clark. This is Mark Sneed. He gets it away, and Ellis nowhere to go with Ryan Atkins, but too quick out of the blocks. Warrington, penalty to the Castleford Tigers.
Yeah, he led the way, didn't he, Ryan Atkins? The official just saw him out of the corner of his eye. But it has been a feature. It's the first opportunity now for the Tigers to put points on the board.
Here is Hubie, gets the ball back, good hands. Oliver Holmes, Myler is all round him, so too is England. Holmes goes down, and then the challenge from England. They're 3 metres away from the line, though. Castleford, a try would do them the world of good. It's with Hubie. Here is Ellis, he just dropped the shoulder. Atkins wouldn't be fooled, held on to him with help from Harrison. It's Darryl Clark who's waiting at dummy half. He gives the ball to Hubie. Hubie then thought about Millington, went back and found Lynch. He now's got Clark involved again, and Clark going for that line. Brought down again by Atkins and Harrison. Those two working well in defence. This is Ellis trying to slide the kick in. It ricochets everywhere. And Ratchford, does he knock the ball dead? He does. It's a goal line dropout.
He'll go upstairs, have a look at this. I think the ball may have hit the whitewash before Ratchford got a hand to it.
Well, you've got bigger in goals here than most other pitches. You're usually looking at about 5 metres. They're up to about, I think, 8 metres here. So this will be applied during the game. Dribbling it in and making and forcing the fullback to play at it.
The big question is, does Ratchford get a fingertip to this? It's
Well, it
pretty
came
close.
off the knees of a Castleford player, didn't it?
They're looking for the ricochet. Does he play at the ball, or is there a ricochet? I think there's probably evidence there that it's come off Chris Hill, but then it goes against another Castleford player. Is that a ricochet? Because certainly Stephen Ratchford doesn't play at the ball. Well, they decided it's gone dead off Warrington, and so it'll be a goal line dropout.
Well, I'm not so sure about that, but Darryl Powell will not be complaining. He's a little bit of a rub at the green after a demolition job last week.
Well, I think the ruling would be there that the Warrington player, Trent Waterhouse, was the last player to play at the ball. Everything else was a ricochet, and therefore we get a goal line dropout.
And that's what we've got. Oh, it's a horrible one as well on the bounce. Haruki picks it up, takes it as far as Laithwaite. Atkins in there as well. He scored the try, did Ryan Atkins. He's getting through a ton of work in defence also. This is Hubie.
Well, it's obviously the Tigers, the pinpointing Ryan Atkins as a bit of a weakness in defence, but it's not turning out that way. Good play, but good defence. He's at it again. He's all over the joint, Ryan Atkins.
He is. Ellis felt the weight of that tackle. This is Clark. Now it's Hubie. Hubie then to Grant Millington. He gives it back. Good ball to Dawn. That was played up by Monaghan. That will be the knock-on. Good job he got to it as well, because Carney was sniffing a 4-pointer outside him.
Yeah, he took a huge gamble, did Joe Monaghan. He knew that he got the overlap. If that would have not touched the fingertip, you could have seen quite clearly. Justin Carney would have just walked into the left-hand corner.
Castleford have scored some brilliant tries this season, Eddie. Some of the best in the competition. I don't think they need a magical one. They just need one right now. They need to get across the try line, even if it's a pick up and dive over from dummy half. But for the supporters, for themselves, for the confidence and belief, they need to score some points, I believe, in the next minute or two.
There's great shots of Joe Monaghan talking to his teammates, because he was left with a 2-on-1. That means somebody inside, and we're not able to highlight at the minute, has made a mistake and not numbered up properly, but it's the winger on the very end that is left exposed.
Well, here comes Millington, and he makes progress from 10 metres out to within a couple of the line, and Clark pops the ball up then to Hubie, who has a drive for the line, and Hubie's over, but he's held up, I think. Yes, the referee says take it back to the 10, and the tackle count will continue.
Brilliant effort from Stephen Ratchford there.
Set it up, Chris.
So back they come. The tackle count continues because he's held up over the line. It's Ellis. Pops the ball up again. Hubie gets it away to Clark, and Clark from a standing start, and harassing defence by Monaghan and company. Hubie once more. Here's Andy Lynch, and Lynch goes without it.
He can't believe it, Daryl Powell. Good build-up. Lynch was going to take the ball back on the angle towards the sticks, and there would be little doubt that Michael Shenton would have been screaming for it to get it out wide. And this is a reason why I never really wanted to coach.
Well, they beat Warrington here on Easter Monday, 40 points to 6. That was their first win in 11 against Trent Waterhouse and the Warrington Wolves. Home advantage tonight could easily be the key. The Tigers have won the last 7 here. The last defeat, 14 points to 22 against Leeds on May the 8th. But this is playoff football. This is do or die for these two sides. Their season is on the line tonight.
Well, obviously Daryl Powell had said to his charges, look, we have not been defending all that well over the past 3 or 4 weeks. They know they've been in a bit of a slump, but they've certainly turned up tonight, and that's for sure. Remember, it was the charge down that created the first try of the game.
Oliver Holmes all over Richie Myler, who gets up and plays the ball to Michael Monaghan. This is England again. He drives it in. Does Anthony England. He began his career at Castleford in 2005, by the way, did England. The ball is high. Oh, and it's fumbled. And it's Laithwaite. Was that Sneed who made the error? Here is Rhys Evans. Or was it James Clare? James Clare, I think it was. And here is Gareth O'Brien. He's ducked under one challenge. And this is a huge challenge now for the Tigers' defence again. Michael Monaghan can sniff something. He didn't lose it, says the referee. Ball went to ground, but I'm afraid Castleford offside in the view of Phil Bentham.
Yeah, it was half a dozen he could have selected from. None of them had their feet over or on the line. Surprisingly, they'll just calm things down. The experience from Michael Monaghan, the captain tonight. Maybe 2 drives and then the switch to the blind, have been effective with that over the past couple of weeks.
Harrison to his feet. Michael Monaghan's waiting. Gives it then to O'Brien. Here is the big man Waterhouse. He leaves at the end of the season for Warrington. Whenever the end of the season comes, Michael Monaghan to O'Brien. Harrison drives it in. Harrison loses it.
Great tackle there. Wonderful tackle. I think you'll find it was Grant Millington that put the shoulder to into the impact. Yeah, it was. Iraqi over the top, Millington down low.
Oh, Clare thought about getting rid of that ball then. Clark, will he have a run from dummy half? He does. He tries to go through Laithwaite. Oh, he gets the ball away riskily. Evans was alert to it. Ellis with nowhere to go. Clark again. Good defence from Warrington, this.
It is good defence, but don't Castleford look a lot more energised than we've seen them in recent weeks? Now, they're 6-0 down. They haven't conceded points in the first 20 minutes of the last 2 games. Remember, it took a half an hour for the Catalan Dragons to score and 19 minutes or so for James Roby to score last week. Now, while they conceded early against Warrington, this performance from Castleford is immeasurably better than the Catalan Dragons game and the St. Helens game. They're going to give themselves a chance. But again, Daryl Powell referenced during the week, it's the second halves that have been killing them. They've faded away badly in games. Will the same happen again today?
Yes, he's been honest enough to say, Daryl Powell, that Castleford not playing well at the moment. And is hoping that tonight he just recharges the battery somehow.
Well, the forwards have not been setting the pattern. They haven't been getting over the advantage line. Their kicking game has been poor. And as we've already mentioned before the kickoff, that their defence has been out of kilter.
Ratchford. Well, they got a hand to him, did Shenton, and he got a second hand to him as well. It was a good job that he did. Joel Monaghan and Bridge. Bridge just dabs it towards the in-goal area. It's picked up by Justin Carney.
Brilliant work by Carney, had to be. It's surprising that they went for the little grubber onto the end. I thought perhaps they might have launched it into that wing over on that far side. Failed to do that. But he was equal to the task, wasn't he, Justin Carney?
Well, there's the telephone number and the websites that you need to find out any information at all about the grand final at Old Trafford on October the 11th, 6 o'clock the kick-off. We're with you an hour before the kick-off at 5 on Sky Sports 1 that night. Any other info? They're the places that you need to visit.
Well, we're nearly 20 minutes into this game, and yet we've got to see the explosive power and speed from the man at dummy half, Daryl Clark. He's quite happy just to feed the ball out. It's not the best kick right down the winger's throat.
Well, you would say with probably just a kick charge down to get a try. There wasn't much difference, but there is one significant difference. The amount of ground that Warrington are making with the ball. They've had about equal possession, these two sides, but not just Stephen Ratchford. Because they're playing the game a little bit quicker than their opponents, with and without the ball, they're winning the gaining game. And that's obviously, ultimately, what helps you to win the match.
And everything's coming off for them as well at the moment. They're offloading, they're flicking the ball, it's coming off fingertips, it's going backwards, it's finding men in white jerseys.
And that comes about by the confidence. Oh, that won't help.
What have I said? What have I just said?
Yeah.
Paul Wood will not thank me for that.
I think there's a few thousand out there somewhere. Will also be not too impressed with you. I don't think he will be either. But, as I say, it was a pretty poor performance. Take nothing away from Widnes last week. They looked all over the shop, did the Wolves. It was a fright. And then they had to fight, eventually getting there.
So Michael Channing.
That looked as though it's a bit, sorry, Eddie, that was a bit high from Rhys Evans.
There was certainly a slap. You could hear it from over here. Hubie. Bravely, he took to the field with that. Well, it must have been still dislocated, though. I spoke to him after Wembley, and he said there was never a doubt he was always going to play in the cup final. And he's lost that ball. He has.
Good tackle by Chris Bridge.
You're right, Mike. It was the ferocity, wasn't it, of the hit that forces this ball out here. Very aggressive. He hits on the floor. The ball squeezed out. Bridge straight onto it as soon as he sees it at the side. The referee and the touchers made the right decision.
Tackle not affected, Stuart, before that ball came out.
Well, I think the ruling is that the balls hit the floor and come out on the floor, so the tackle's effective because the balls touched the floor and it was held in the hand. So, you know, therefore the ball has gone backwards, but it's lost after the tackle was complete.
Head and feet at the scrum then to Warrington, fed by Myler. This is Chris Bridge. Oof. You'd have felt that. That was Iraqi right in his chest. And here is Laithwaite. Now Michael Monaghan. Been the key for Warrington recently. Harrison was put into a gap by O'Brien. That was quickly closed by Hubie. Michael Monaghan again. Paul Wood. Relishing the opportunity, and he's dropped it for the second occasion. Free play. Hubie switches the direction of the attack and finds Dawn. Dawn hacks the ball downfield. It goes out on the fall. It will be brought back for the original offence.
Well, a kick and hope, really. But I suppose with the interpretation of the Lord, they knew they were going to get the possession back anyway.
I think the idea might be right. You know, we all like a little chip over the top, and they may need it because to break through Warrington's defence isn't going to be easy. You know, the tries we saw Widnes score last week were Kevin Brown's kicks, weren't they? It might need an attacking kick to break through Warrington's defence.
So, head and feed now to Castleford. Shenton. I made the point to Steve-O in the studio, guys. I don't know whether you were listening. I'm sure you were. I just wonder if people in the last couple of months have just begun to read the way Castleford play. I just wonder if the other teams in Super League have just suddenly become aware of the way they're going to play.
I think there's a huge amount of factors, Eddie. 33 games is going to be one of those. The emotion of Wembley, the emotion of almost winning the league leader shield. That all plays on a team, especially if as a team you're not used to being in those big occasions. I spoke last week about their performance against St Helens. I thought the wheels had fallen off this Castleford side. I've been hugely impressed with how they've responded. Albeit 6 points behind with 23 minutes gone, this is an energetic performance, an aggressive performance in defence. That's going to give you a chance.
And it's knocked back, and Jamie Ellis will score. Michael Monaghan leads the complaints. The referee checks. Oh, and they give the try, and Michael Monaghan is furious. He wanted him to check upstairs for a knock-on possibility. He shakes his head as Monaghan, as Jamie Ellis and Castleford celebrate what could be an equalising try. The ball was high, there was a good contest for it in the air. It was knocked back or forwards, depending on your opinion. Let's have another look at this, it's interesting.
Well, they're all on side out there on that right hand. And quite frankly, there was only one person going for it, and that was the winger, James Clare. He did well to pat it back, and Jamie Ellis said, this is a gift, I'll take it.
I wonder what Michael Monaghan was complaining about.
Well, it was, you can see there that the winger, Rhys Evans, never really contested that. And that is a good example of always putting yourself alert on the field of play. And it just dropped very nicely. But he chose to pick that position. He knows that there's a possibility of the ball being palmed back. And Castleford have a chance now with this conversion to tie it all up at 6-all.
What do you think Michael Monaghan was complaining about, Stuart? Surely not another dirty ball.
Well, no, I think he was speculating, trying to get it referred to the video referee. But I would certainly be interested in looking at Michael Channing and his position in the line, because he was close to contesting that ball. He was within the 10, and it was certainly very close on the kick when I was looking at the monitor there.
Well, it wasn't referred upstairs. The try has been given by both touch judges and, more importantly, Phil Bentham. So here is Mark Sneyd to try and level the scores up. Top goal kicker in Super League. Oh, he's missed it. Mark Sneyd misses that conversion.
Can't believe it. I made the point before the kickoff, Eddie, in regards the reason why I think Daryl Powell wanted to bring Mark Sneyd back into this game was that the kicking game and the penalties, perhaps.
Well, it's very close, isn't it? But I don't think from that shot you could say that he was actually offside. But it was very close. You can see he gets within the 10, but the ball's clearly gone backwards from that. Phil Bentham's in a great position for that, and the try's awarded.
It was a great jump, wasn't it, from the winger, James Clare. And how smart was Jamie Ellis to be on hand. Game on.
We've got injury news, I think, coming in from Bill.
Yeah, Nathan Massey, it looks, will play no further part for the Castleford Tigers here tonight, which is a massive blow for them, because he's had an outstanding season in that loose forward role. But by the sound of things, the knee injury he sustained is not improving at the moment. They're going to have another look at half-time. They're not optimistic they can get him back out the field. And great to see Jamie Ellis redeeming himself. It was his kick that was charged down earlier on for that Warrington try, and he's got his own revenge.
Yes, he has, but here Mark Sneyd has knocked the ball on. He's suggesting that substitute Ben Curry was all over him and causing him problems, which he was, but not when he loses control and contact with the ball.
It was just a straight drop, simple as that. You've got to keep hold of it. He failed to do that. He knows it.
And it's such an important set, isn't it, after you score? You always, as a team, you say, let's get to our kick. Let's take any sting out of this Warrington side who are going to come back with us. They'll be burnt after conceding a try. Get to our kick it down the field, make Warrington bring it back out. So again, this set now, defending that error, is going to be equally important.
Well, they're in there in numbers, trying to force an error from Ryan Atkins. 26.5 minutes gone, only 2 points in it. Here is Paul Wood. Last time we've seen him, on the last 2 occasions anyway, he has dropped the ball. Not this time. Michael Monaghan. Here's Chris Hill. And Chris Hill drags Castleford back towards their own line once again with 2 tackles, this set of 6 remaining. Michael Monaghan scheming. Back he comes to O'Brien. O'Brien delayed and then had to simply take the tackle. So we've reached tackle number 5. This is the last for Warrington. Monaghan to Myler to Bridge, and that is the key for Warrington. Bridge out wide to Monaghan. Monaghan touches down. Incredibly, 32 tries now for this season for Joel Monaghan. 126 tries in this, his 117th Warrington appearance since 2011. But he doesn't look happy.
You're right, he's called immediately for the physiotherapist to come over.
But he's got a bad knee, and by the looks of things, he's got a bad wrist as well.
Yeah, it all came about by the loss here from Mark Sneyd, and it put them under a lot of pressure. But this is something that they've been doing all season, haven't they? The combination of Chris Bridge, Joel Monaghan. Fantastic stuff. Carney left with two men to handle. He took the decision to go inside, but as you can see quite clearly, Joel Monaghan is certainly not 100%.
Was it a dislocated finger? Did he just have it put back in by the physio? Did I see that? I'm not sure. He certainly came over and he did something, pulled at something, and then gave the thumbs up, did the physio. And, well, Monaghan, not 100%, but still able to put the ball over the whitewash for his 32nd touchdown of 2014. A remarkable, remarkable scoring record he's got.
Certainly has, and as we mentioned, the combination between Bridge and Joel Monaghan. And this could be interesting. Remember that Mark Sneyd, who's normally spot on, failed to convert the conversion, and this is a vital kick now for Stefan Ratchford.
It is, as you can see, he's only about a metre in from the touchline on this near side. Right-footed kicker, it's difficult. Degree of difficulty, and just too difficult. So it's 10 points to 4 to the Wolves.
And I guess Daryl Powell and the Tigers players that are behind the post will be speaking very positively. They've conceded 2 tries, but they've almost been self-inflicted wounds. One having a kick charge down inside their own half of the field, and here a mistake by Sneyd, getting up to play the ball, and then just unable, as you see here, the physiotherapist helping a finger, which I think he's already strapped before the game, a long-term injury. But the error and the inability to defend that last tackle, try conceded in the corner. If they can stay outside of that part of the field and they control the possession better than they have in this game, they've got themselves the chance here of going through to week 3.
Hill will drive the ball up the middle for the Warrington Wolves. The only Warrington player in the dream team, Chris Hill. His young Ben Curry missed the final 6 of last year, including the grand final, so he wants to be back there, or wants to get there this year. Now Michael Monaghan again. Laithwaite is a dummy half. And O'Brien with a kick over the top of Carney.
Good kick, went early, didn't wait until the last. Look at that chase. Oh, it's tremendous stuff. And that's big impact as well.
And that's a rumbustious run, isn't it, from Justin Carney?
Now then, they've got to keep their control and don't give away a silly penalty. Sometimes when you get a good kick, good chase, they just lose the plot slightly and try to hold the man down a little bit too long, get themselves offside. But it's been effective, hasn't it, Warrington defence so far tonight.
You're right about the defence, it has been impressive. You know, they've missed half as many tackles as Castleford, and I think in the big games we saw with St Helens' outstanding defensive effort last week. You've got to really miss as few as possible if you want to win. We'd expect Warrington to be ahead by a significant point at this stage. The defence has been good, you've made more ground. The possession's been very, very even between these two sides, but Castleford and the supporters here need to find another level.
Ball was high, but a player from Castleford was called offside by the referee, so he didn't close in on Stefan Ratchford to make sure a penalty wasn't forthcoming.
That surprised me, you know, Castleford with that kick. Remember, they put Rhys Evans under that pressure, which resulted in them getting their first try. On that occasion, just a little bit in field, it was quite easy for Stefan Ratchford. They've got to do the things right. They've got to just control it a little bit. They're not out of this game, that's for sure.
The success so far for Warrington on the scoreboard, they lead by 6 points, 10-4 with a half an hour gone. They've had other success as well, Eddie. I'm sure this side has come here hoping to silence the crowd. Do not let Castleford harness the energy that Phil Clark spoke about before the game, that this crowd in this compact stadium can bring to their home side. I think Warrington have done a good job in neutralising the home side.
Yes, they're just a little bit quiet at the moment. High, it goes off the boot again of O'Brien. Dawn waits for it. And Dawn begins the response, but he's running laterally. Gets it away then to Sneyd, and Sneyd tries to come inside Richie Myler.
Well, look, the home crowd don't like it, but all he had to do...
I don't think Sneed likes it either, somehow.
Well, all he had to... Oh, he's just swung out there and just... Well, he's just decked Myler. I'm not so sure he hit him on the face. It might have been on the chest. Either way, took offence to it.
It's a silly place to be even doing this, because if this would have been given a penalty against Mark Sneed, he would have been in all sorts of trouble.
At least the crowd have listened to Brian Carney. They're trying their best here now, aren't they, to get the Tigers back, breathe some life back into them, get some energy, get some speed about the game. Lynch to Ubi, that 3 chain passes. They've gone wide, but the final pass isn't sticking with the fluency that it did when we came here earlier this season.
Well, we don't know whether that was an Academy Award effort from Richie Miley, but he shot out of it. That's a great take, and that is a wonderful tackle by James Clare. Talk about composure.
So, Rhys Evans wasn't what he wanted, really. Short pass, so close to his own line. Curry. Gets to his feet, will play it here to Monaghan. Asatazi's on.
That's a good run, but you can see that Castleford, they really have lifted. The crowd are getting behind them.
It's Warrington's task now to try and silence the crowd once again as we approach half-time. 7 minutes to go.
One thing they have done, Eddie, that they forced Warrington to kick from deep within their own half. This should get back to the 30-metre line.
Well, Dawn is trying to do that. Gets as far as Myler and Waterhouse. There's 4 there. Bridge was in third one and Wood was the 4th one in. Carney will have a scamper forward. The Castleford crowd are not happy about something. Hubie. Down he goes on tackle number 3, Craig Hubie. Huddersfield bound next season. Huddersfield, of course, next into action in these playoffs. They take on the Catalan Dragons from Perpignan. Sky Sports tomorrow, 7:30, followed by the club call. Who will St Helens pick? This is Dawn to Shenton. Shenton thought about the pass wide.
Boy, the pace of this game is starting to get to some of the players out there. There's a lot huffing and puffing, Eddie. Oh, it's a poor one.
Yes, Ratchford read the script perfectly there. Darryl Powell hoping that Castleford will be in the club call tomorrow. And it's going to be made by the Saints chairman, Eamon McManus, immediately after the final whistle at Huddersfield. I'm sure that the phone lines between Eamon and Nathan Brown, Mike Rush have been very, very busy all week. I wonder whether they will go for the lowest ranked side or whether they'll take the gamble, St Helens. We'll see tomorrow. That's the club call. We've got to decide, of course, yet who gets there to the club call. Will it be Castleford? Will it be Warrington? Warrington just ahead with 5 to go to half-time.
Well, the one thing that Saints will be looking for is for both those games, Eddie, to be at this pace, take a lot of energy out of them.
Okay, boys. On you, mate.
So here come the Tigers once again with James Clare preferred in the starting lineup to Kirk Dixon, who has begun this match on the bench.
Second, release. Square markers.
So many on either side of him. Now just keep a lookout that, you know, they're coming out wide. They got hands on hips and breathing heavily. They've been ferocious.
Hubie gives it to Holmes. Bridge was waiting for him, so was Waterhouse.
Yeah, they weren't going to take the dummy, were they? They had him all lined up.
Well, that's got to be a penalty.
Yeah.
Clark knew they weren't standing square, went for Bridge, and Bridge could not resist.
And it's good common sense like that. And you can see there that, to me, Trent Waterhouse is completely out on his feet.
On you, Darryl.
Good play by Darryl Clark.
Well, the second Castleford penalty, 1 to Warrington. Only 3 in this first half so far. 4 minutes from half-time. Chances here for the Tigers. As Scott Wheeldon off the bench drives it into the 10-metre line on the first tackle. And Darryl Clark.
Oh, he was looking for somebody to come through there.
Nobody did.
That was poor. You've got to be alert on either side when the dummy half runs like that.
Goal 2.
Now Hubie will take it forward. And Hubie will hang on to it himself. Halfway through this set of 6, it's Clark again. Sneed, well, the pass dipped in front of him.
No, it wasn't good. It'll bring them, they'll put the scrum down. Well, he knows another golden opportunity just frittered away.
It must be frustrating for him, mustn't it? It must be frustrating for Darryl Powell. He knows that fatigue and everything else is taking its toll on his team.
It's a shocking pass. It's as simple as that.
Teams spend a lot of time practicing different scenarios, and one of them that they often imagine is that a tap penalty inside your opposition's 20-metre zone. 6 players, what are we going to put on? There was no fluency. They seemed completely disappointed. You know, when we've been here and seen some of the attacking options that they've thrown at sides over 6 players to get 6 points, and then they came up with that in 4, really, you know, it was poor for them.
Yeah, at this time of season, I think fatigue does set in, both physically and mentally.
Joel to brother Michael, and he then pinches the penalty because Wielden was not standing square.
Yeah, picked him out. As I say, experience definitely counts in this day and age, especially when it comes to sudden death rugby league football. We saw Darryl Clark pinch the penalty, and we've now seen Michael Monaghan do it exactly the same. This will be no frills from Warrington, I don't think. They just want to make sure they get into a good position, probably 10-15 metres away from the Castleford goal line, where they can utilise the kick.
Monaghan getting the penalty, leaves the field immediately. Mickey Heim is on. There he is. Finds Myler, who in turn finds Waterhouse. Keeps Warrington moving forward. A minute and a half to the half-time siren. Heim will bring it back into centre field with Myler. Myler then to O'Brien. O'Brien then to the runners, Ratchford. Short ball then to Laithwaite. Forward scream the Castleford supporters. The referee and touch judge saw it another way. Here is Mickey Heim again. Scampering run from dummy half from the fresh legs just on the field. Drop goal possibility maybe. Or are they not thinking about that? Are they thinking about 4? They're thinking about 4 with O'Brien. Oh, and it wasn't the best kick. It was well picked up by Grant Millington, and then he drops it. It's got the penalty, though, I think, has Millington for offside.
2 in the tackle.
2 in the tackle, was it? Sorry.
Yes, 2 in the tackle when it was stolen.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And this is one heck of a kick as well from the penalty from Castleford. Look where they are.
That's amazing.
And they want to get on with it quickly. Channing does. Gets as far as Atkins and Laithwaite. Vital moments in this first half for Castleford and Tony Smith and the Warrington Wolves. Ellis finds Sneed. Sneed on a good run finds Dawn. Dawn couldn't get the ball out. It bounces kindly though for Sneed. And that's knocked on again. It's another free play. This is Shenton. And Shenton hangs on.
Will they have enough seconds left?
20 remaining. And this is Darryl Clark. Just run out of ideas. Goes down on the tackle. Now then, maybe this is their last chance in this first half. Heim trying to slow them down. Ellis gets it back to Mark Sneed. Sneed over the top, looking for Justin Carney. And it is Myler to the rescue. And he gets enveloped by Warrington supporters, congratulating him on the defence. So the Warrington Wolves lead at half-time. Myler with that little tap over the line, just saving the day for them right on the stroke of half-time. The Wolves will leave the field with a 6-point advantage. Atkins try. Then we had the Ellis try. It was 6-4. And a customary try from Joel Monaghan. The Ellis try and the Monaghan try not improved. 10-4 to Warrington at the break.
The Gladiators are entering the arena.
Sky Sports, your home of sport. Whenever you want, wherever you are.
Designer bags to bean bags, keyboards to surfboards. Whatever you want to buy, there are millions of places you can use PayPal. Just one button to shop more securely anywhere you want. Big stores, little stores, local stores, out-of-the-way stores. So go ahead, shop easily and securely for everything you need. And some of the things you don't.
Na 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 na.
People rule.
Premier Kinetic from Seiko.
Ever had a moment when you realise just how much you care about the things you own?
Right, where shall we start?
At More Than, we've introduced a new way to buy home insurance. We start by asking you how much you want to pay, and together we'll help build the perfect cover for your home.
Thank you for talking me through everything.
Happy to help.
More Than, where you mean more.
Looks like he can say goodbye, too.
The ultimate Destiny experience on PlayStation. This is for the players.
Listen to your favourite authors anywhere with Audible.
It was barely a quarter of a mile, probably only 800 steps, but it was one of the most important walks of my life.
In my hand was a gold conical torch. I was unbelievably nervous, my hands sweating and my legs juddering. I was one of 8,000 people chosen to carry the Olympic flame.
There's always time to listen. Start your 30-day free trial at audible.co.uk/Sky.
At British Gas, we're upgrading our customers to smart meters. They help you stay in control of your energy by letting you see what you're spending on things like appliances, heating and lighting, which could even save you money. Smart meters. You'll never see energy in the same way again. British Gas. We do more to look after your world.
You walked into the hotel as a 5. But once you saw the room, you turned into a weird 7. Once you saw the rooftop pool, you went to 11. You two should probably get a room. Oh, that's right, you already did. At Planet Earth's #1 accommodation site, Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
If you fall ill abroad, we'll help find a doctor who speaks your language. Just part of the Kiss and Make Better service we deliver daily. American Express.
So, Henry Morgan, what's your story?
My life is just like yours. Except for one difference. It never ends. I think it's safe to say that I've yet to figure out what the point of life is.
Everything you are, everything you've learned is for something bigger. For a reason.
There's something you're not telling me.
Forever starts next Thursday at 9 on Sky One HD, or watch it now on demand.
The gladiators are entering the arena.
Well, one of the greatest sporting events in the entire world begins on Sky Sports Ryder Cup channel tomorrow. The Ryder Cup, first day, the 4-balls and the foursomes from 7 o'clock in the morning. See the first ball struck down the fairway. Then we have the verdict on the first day at 7. We have the highlights from 7:30, and the Ryder Cup countdown programs are on demand right now. The best in the business on the best in the business. The Ryder Cup swings into action on Sky Sports Ryder Cup in the morning. The playoffs are in full swing. This is the second weekend. Losers tonight bow out. The winners move on to club call. At the moment, Warrington are ahead by 10 points to 4 against the Castleford Tigers. Well, 5 straight wins at the start of the year. 8 wins from the first 10. They have defied the odds throughout 2014. They almost picked up the League Leaders Shield. They almost picked up the Challenge Cup. They desperately want to have a chance of picking up the Super League trophy at the Grand Final. 44-6. They were beaten here on Easter Monday, Warrington. Their heaviest defeat of 2014. Last week, 18-0 down against Widnes. They turned it round. They won 22-19 to qualify for this match here at the Menderhose Jungle tonight. And they are almost there. They're halfway there, but there's another 40 minutes to come, fellas.
Yes, thanks very much, Eddie. Plenty of hand signals. Tony Smith will know his side are facing a much improved Castleford Tigers side. They trailed by just 6 at half-time. Their last game, they trailed at 13 against St. Helens. The one before that, 10 points against the Catalan Dragons. And the reason they trailed this one is because Warrington got off to a great start through Ryan Atkins' try from Ben Harrison's charge down. We asked the question, was he offside? John, you've got an answer.
Well, yes, he was offside, but I'm actually going to... We're not going to focus too much on that. What we are going to focus on is how dominant Warrington were in the opening 5 or 10 minutes of this game. 7-minute mark. Castleford had not been outside their own half unless they were defending in that opening 6 or 7 minutes. Tackles like that, effort like that, that was really pushing back and limited Castleford Tigers' metres. So, although this is not looked at by the video ref, offsides at play the balls, you know, he's cheated, he had. But I think they've earned the right to go for that charge down, more importantly, because of the good work they've done in defence. It's just unfortunate the touchers didn't pick that up.
Yeah, that pushed them out to 6-0 lead. Stefan Ratchford able to convert that. Castleford Tigers hit back through a Jamie Ellis try, batted back by James Clare, who showed great presence of mind. Perhaps not so when he was defending his own try line from bombs, but certainly in attack he did very well on this occasion.
Smart play this, well crafted, well executed. You're right to talk about James Clare. He's got the frame for it. He's the go-to man for kicking. Certainly wouldn't be to Justin Carney. The other side, he's the bulldozer. But there's somebody else who deserves some credit in the lead up to this, and that's Luke Dawn. He sets off for what he thinks is going to be a kick the other side of the field. Have a look how far he is away from the ruck, and have a look at who's at the base of the ruck in Jamie Ellis. He frees up that extra work, that extra 10 metres, frees up Jamie Ellis to get the kick away, a better quality kick than no doubt he would have been able to get from dummy half. Lovely leap by James Clare. And then Jamie Ellis on hand following up his own kick for the try. Live game.
Devastatingly for Castleford. After that, they were unable to complete their next set. Mark Sneed coughing up the ball. Warrington Wolves scoring through Joel Monaghan in the corner. Then Castleford again hit back and showed that they're very much in this game. Had some good chances, John, towards the end of the first half.
Yeah, they do. We're going to have to wait until the end of the game to find out how meaningful this clip is. But these were golden opportunities at this level for what's happening and the circumstances surrounding the game, sudden death, the advancement to the qualifying... Are
you seeing an improvement in Castleford from these clips?
No, not in attack. I'm not. I think I think defensively, I think they've really tightened up that ruck area. They've done a lot better than they did against St Helens. We're going to be ultra critical here, ultra critical. But Justin Carney, when he sees his centre straighten up, he's got to check his stride because he's no longer going to be able to throw a ball off his right foot. So. I'm being ultra critical, but I do see that as a chance because if he's coming off his hip here, just a short ball that Shenton was looking for, is every chance one-on-one again. Now this is from a set play. This is even a bigger opportunity for me. This was a set play, and this was Luke Dawn and Mark Sneed pre-planned play. These two sweeping across the other side of the field. Okay, Darryl Clark's expecting it. And the one person I want you to have a look at the start of the play, have a look at Trent Waterhouse, because there is only Chris Bridge and Joel Monaghan on the outside. That ball goes to those two. It's a 4-on-3 rather, with Trent Waterhouse on his way in. That is a golden opportunity. One, it tells you it's a live game still, and two, we'll only know at full time how important that was.
We will only know after the second 40 minutes. I want to read you quickly, Eddie, a quote from Darryl Powell after the St Helens game last week. We've been starting games well, but we have just no durability. Can they finish this game as strongly as they have started the first 40 minutes? We've got the answers ahead.
We have, yes, and well, they've lost to Warrington 13 out of 20 visits by the Wolves to this ground in Super League. But if they need any further inspiration, players leaving at the end of this season, Darryl Clark, Craig Hubie, Mark Sneed, Jamie Ellis, Wella Huraki, will this be their last ever 40 minutes in the amber and black, or just their last 40 minutes at home? We'll have the answers, as Brian and John have quite rightly said, at the end of the second half, which comes along next.
Has he got downward pressure?
I think so.
Good girl, Phoebe. Nice and calm today. Karen, Karen, I've got a cat with no pulse here. I need adrenaline and an IV line. Quick as you can, please.
See you tomorrow.
How about a glass of water to cool you down, Billy? Straight from our new American-style fridge freezer from Beko. It's got clever near-frost technology with 2 separate cooling systems. One keeps the freezer completely dry, frozen and frost-free, while the other keeps the right level of moisture in the fridge so fresh food stays as fresh as it can be. Our customers are as happy as you are, Billy. They've given our range of American-style fridge freezers, large-capacity washing machines and built-in ovens an average of 9 out of 10. Search online to see what they're saying for yourself.
It can take only this much dust for most other vacuums to lose suction. But my new vacuum uses oscillating Dyson kinetic cyclones to capture that dust. And more. Crucially, in its lifetime, it never loses suction.
Get up to £100 off Dyson upright and cylinder technology when you trade in any vacuum. Available at participating retailers. Find out more at dyson.co.uk.
Ah, Jeff. Come and see our bonding demonstration. We're showing how the active ingredients of Colgate Total bond to protect the whole mouth. That's what makes it so different from many other toothpastes.
You mean like this? Its unique technology bonds to teeth, gums, tongue, cheeks, in fact 100% of your mouth, protecting it for 12 hours.
Yes, Jeff. Now, come bond with us.
Colgate Total. Superior protection from the mouth experts. #1 toothpaste brand used by dentists.
It wasn't too long ago that some people were tempted into buying mortgages that weren't really right for them. Sometimes borrowing more than they should. TSB want to help people borrow well. That's why they do their best to help their customers choose a mortgage that suits them at a cost they can afford. And why with a TSB mortgage, millions of people could be thousands of pounds better off.
Get behind Team Europe, the Ryder Cup. Live only on Sky Sports. Coverage sponsored by Rolex and Standard Life Investments.
Sky Sports, your home of sport. Whenever you want, wherever you are.
Has he got downward pressure?
I think so.
Headingley is the venue for the Championship Grand Finals day. It's on Sunday week, the 5th of October, live only on Sky Sports. Tonight, of course, the First Utility Super League Grand Final is 2 weeks away on Saturday. But these two sides here, they are intent on getting in to next week's final round of playoffs, and of course the winners tomorrow will take their place in the club call. Well, Ratchford gets us underway. Start of this second half, a big 40 minutes. Season now goes on the line for these two.
Yeah, I'm sure that Daryl Powell is fully aware that they really have to sort of keep this ball alive a little bit more than what they did in the first stanza. Warrington coach Tony Smith will be pretty pleased with the way that their defence has responded to it.
Well, Bill has the half-time news for us.
the message really from both camps is the same. We can be better than this, and neither coach particularly satisfied with that first 40 minutes. Tony Smith impressed with his side's defensive effort, but that's largely due to the fact that they've not been doing an awful lot constructively with the ball and have found themselves having to defend, and they've got through plenty of work. He's happy with that, but he wants to see them be more creative at the other end of the field and put the Castleford Tigers under pressure. And from the Castleford Tigers' point of view, Daryl Powell telling his players, let's cut the errors out. Let's give ourselves a chance in this game, because they haven't really managed to click so far tonight. But the story is the same with both these sides, and both camps admit they've got tired players, they've got injured players, they've got a patched-up team, and they really are having to cobble together a performance at this stage of the season. But the message to them both is there's 40 minutes of your season left. Let's make it a big 40.
Yes, I bet that is exactly the message that they've brought out with them at the start of this second half. It's 12 months' work virtually that's going on the line here now, from the first day of pre-season training last year to this. And who wants it more?
Yeah, he's spot on there, Eddie, and really it could go down to the final 15 minutes, because
it's a knock on by Paul Wood.
Yeah, he's not having the best game, Mr. Wood.
And what's more, he set something out of turn to the referee. It's now a penalty.
I think it's a penalty to Warrington. I think he's been told by the touchers that there was a foot in at the play of the ball, which has caused it to come out. I think he's lucky.
I think he's more than lucky. He should buy a lotto ticket tonight.
But where's the foot? Is it the invisible man?
I'm not sure.
The invisible foot?
Well, that's incredible. That's incredible. Unless, I mean, I know these glasses aren't the best, but unless my eyes are deceiving me. Here is Myler.
Well, the home crowd will go absolutely mad if Warrington scored off this.
Ben Curry. Warrington won't be complaining, of course, if they do score. And Mickey Hines looking to do exactly that. Trying to burrow underneath 4 amber jerseys, but can't do so. So Ben Curry waits at dummy half, and he'll spread it a bit, and he'll find Myler. Myler then looks and finds O'Brien. O'Brien gives it to Atkins. Ooh, there was a grab at Atkins then. Atkins goes out the back door, it comes off. O'Brien hits the deck, it's a knock-on, and there's a relieving and a relieved cheer around this ground from the Tigers fans.
Well, let's just level things up, because they were very fortunate, Warrington, to get this.
Well, he thought he'd actually run behind one of his teammates. That's why I think he stopped and looked at the referee. Here's the incident at the play of the ball. Does Craig's foot touch the ball?
Well, I think he puts his foot forward, doesn't he? He puts his foot in that space where the ball should be played, so well spotted, Robert Hicks.
Bit harsh, Stuart, wasn't it? Anyway, doesn't matter now, it's over. 3.5 minutes of this second half gone.
Sometimes it's harsh, Eddie, and sometimes it's not fair. But, as we say, they've wiped it off. It's level pegging as far as the mistakes are concerned. The big problem now for the Tigers, which it really irritated them on many occasions in their sets of 6, that they failed to get. That was a swinging arm. That should have been a penalty. I make the point that they struggled to get into the opposition half. That's a nice high kick, but should be taken there by Ratford, which he does.
Yes, taken cleanly, no pressure on him whatsoever. Here comes Joel Monaghan again.
There's a swinging arm from Ryan Atkins. He's been lively tonight as Atkins, both with ball in hand and especially early in this game. His defence was outstanding.
Shenton there asking for a decision from the referee because a forearm in the chin, or in the throat certainly, by Chris Bridge. Whoops! And Ben Curry goes without it. Well, Ben Curry can't claim to be worn out.
No. And it seems to be a problem with the second row. James Laithwaite is receiving attention in back play as this scrum is being formed.
This is brilliant for the Castleford Tigers. Just at the start of the second half, the crowd will be invigorated by looking at the scoreboard. They've got a great opportunity now to attack the Warrington Wolves. And at the very least, Eddie, for once in this game, put in an attacking kick that's going to cause pressure and cause trouble to the back three.
Well, Laithwaite has been receiving treatment just at the back of the scrum. Here he comes now. He's got his right elbow heavily taped.
Heads in, wait for the alcohol. Out.
So, Castleford's head and feed, and Dawn from the base of the scrum makes good progress forward. He ran straight over the top of one Warrington man. He's down. It's O'Brien. I think he's not right, isn't Gareth O'Brien?
Yeah, he's in no one land.
And here comes Sneed, gets a short ball away to Oliver Holmes. 15 metres away, he's brought down.
Good work by Miley, wasn't going to take the dummy.
Sneed pops it up to Lynch.
Now, will the Tigers do something a little bit different? Maybe a little run around or a switch back on the inside.
Ellis gives the ball to Dawn. The ball goes to ground, but eventually finds its way to Clare. And he retreats under pressure from Curry, but now he might straighten it up. Now he might. No, he doesn't. He'll take the tackle instead. Had he been able to slip the pass there was a great opportunity for Scott Wheeldon. This is Mark Sneed. Another on the way out of Castleford end of this season. Darryl Clark's on his way to Warrington. He's a dummy half.
Got to be a kick, and it is. But it's not the best.
And Nicky Hyam gets to the ball that was on the deck.
It's very hard to get a good attacking kick in when you play against Warrington because their players are already primed that they have to put pressure on the kicker. Probably needed more depth and more time. When Mike Sneed was already tackled at the play of the ball, it meant the only one player who was going to receive that ball was Jamie Ellis. Closed down too quickly, and that's a big opportunity goal.
Asatazi to Atkins. He tries to bounce away from Channing, and Channing does well with Ellis. But on halfway.
Can't believe that Asatazi offloaded that. I mean, he's a huge body. He'll be putting a little bit more effort into it than that. That's a good chase, though.
Good take by Carney as well. He gets it away to Shenton, but great work by Chris Bridge. Carney. He slid, but he still managed to get up before Monaghan puts him down.
This is where Warrington is superior. Their kick and chase has been far better than the home side.
Holmes plays the ball. Sneed. Asatazi quickly to Scott Wheeldon. 4 tackles gone. They're only on the 40-metre line. It went through the legs of Darryl Clark. Play on, says the referee, and that little millisecond of an error allowed 3 white jerseys to come in and close his options down. Ellis with a kick down the line. Ratchford has positioned himself perfectly. Lets it bounce though. Took the gamble. And the chase from Castleford is a little laboured.
Gee, the ends of the sets are not good. Phil referred to the kick on the last tackle by Jamie Ellis just previously. Already the fullback and already plenty of players there. No problem for the Warrington Wolves defence. And on that occasion, looked like they were going to go early, but Darryl Clark was confused. I thought they were going to go on the 4th. I think he thought it as well. No kicker available. He had to take the tackle. And then Ellis is kicking from an unfortunate position, tight to the touchline on the right-hand side. It's an area they're going to have to improve on very quickly if they're going to get back into this game, get in front and go on and win it.
Here's Asatazi, straight up the middle from the big Kiwi. He has been capped 24 times for New Zealand. Myler drills the kick all along the ground, and Bridge is leading the chase for it too. And, well, he had to take it over the line, Mark Sneed. It's a goal line dropout.
That's the type of kick that you need when you're in control. When you're 6 points in front, get on that short blind side, make sure you put the pressure on. You can see there he had to take it over the line, no doubt about it.
I thought Chris Bridge had hamstring and ankle problems. He's been kidding us.
Well, last weekend, remember, he was out at half-time.
And he was out before the match tonight.
Yeah, but we were trying to say that he was going through a fitness test, but he made it quite clear that he doesn't want to sit in the dressing room and tighten up. But he was out there because he wanted to keep the legs moving all the time. And I tell you what, it paid off. He was the man of the match last week.
It's a real test, yeah, real test for Casper's defence. Don't forget, I know they look as though they're under pressure here and behind the pump a little bit. They're only an intercepted try away from being level in this game. They have to defend, though. They are not allowed here. I don't think to allow Warrington to score again, it would make the hurdle very, very high for them to get over.
Good run from Asatazi. Coming into his own now at the end of the season. Asatazi played that ball quickly to Hyam. This is Chris Bridge. And they force Chris Bridge over the whitewash on the far side. That's good defence from Castleford.
Yeah, got the numbers on that blind side. He's a difficult man to stop, but there was no way through. great defence in the end. They had to.
Oliver Holmes, Steve-O, who's involved in that tackle, he has been brilliant for the Castleford Tigers. He's with Terry O'Connor. About 6 to 8 weeks ago, when we asked Darryl Powell, we had him on the phone, who he thought would be in for a big finish to the season. He said Oliver Holmes. Once he strung some games together, got himself out on the field, he said this man was destined to finish the season on a high. And while Castleford at the moment, and if the score stays the way it is, will not finish the season on a high, that man individually will.
So Castleford to get the possession from the scrum. Here is Millington again. He's dragged back to the 10-metre line, played the ball there to Darryl Clark. But Clark can't do it on his own. Ellis gets to his feet somewhat wearily, does Clark, as he played the ball there.
There's a lot of players out there that are very weary, Eddie. It really has taken its toll this season.
And that was touched by a Warrington player, so this is play on.
That's on the third. That's got to be a better kick. I'm stating the obvious there, I beg your pardon, but that's poor. You're going to kick early. You need a better result than that. Look where they've turned it over.
It did flick off the Warrington player who was charging it down, to be fair.
Part of your job, Eddie, is to get a kick away without getting charged down.
Oh, that's got to be a penalty. That's silly play. Well, I can't believe that from the experienced Mark Sneed. Just had a second go. This will be kicked into the corner, surely. I don't think he'll go for the two. Or might they?
He's asking them what they're going to do, and they are going to go for the two. Michael Monaghan back out there, the skipper, has just said, will take a shot at goal, because he knows that this just might get even closer over the next half hour.
Well, they've experienced a pretty painful draw, didn't they, towards the end of the season, at home against Huddersfield, and you won't want to go through that again with the desperation of everybody looking for that one-pointer in the last few minutes. So 2 more points if they can get this. It's a very difficult kick though for Stephen Ratchford.
No, I'll go back, Eddie, to that kick that they've had it affected on the third tackle. The whole idea of kicking on the third is that the back three will not be set. The markers will not expect the kicker to be kicking it then, will not charge out to put pressure on him. So everything should be going in your favour to get a clean kick away. When you don't on the third, it's even more sinful than later on in the play when the defence are ready for it.
Just 3 times this year, Castleford have scored fewer than 20 points in the season, but they in a game, but they have won 2 of those. It's a little bit, and that's on this ground, I mean. They're a little bit like a 6-cylinder car that's firing on 3 or 4 at the moment. So Ratchford with an important kick, difficult angle, almost 40 metres away from the post as well. Could be crucial, could be highly crucial in the next half hour, this. You see why they're having a go at it, though, because it is kickable if he can get the range, which he's got with ease, and he has the 2. 12-4 to Warrington. Castleford now must score twice. And the Warrington fans jubilant. They think they could be on the way to Old Trafford, and who knows?
You never
for
know
the
this.
3rd year,
Yeah.
they could be picking up the first league title since 1955.
And I suppose in many ways, Eddie, you'd have to say that Warrington took the gamble to take the 2, because Bradford would have been confident that even if he missed it, he would have gone dead in goal, so therefore they would have received the possession back.
Let's get straight down to Bill.
We mentioned earlier on Nathan Massey's knee injury sustained in the first half, and Castleford's hope that they might be able to get him back out there. It's not going to happen. Massey will not be reappearing for them. And it's a bit of a mystery why Kirk Dixon and Adam Milner haven't been involved so far for the Castleford Tigers. But it's time to go yet, as Mickey Hart goes a good scampering run. But those 2 still sitting on the bench for the Tigers.
Well, Warrington are starting to assert their authority.
Quicker play the balls as well, and they know that they're feeling good. That look forward, he's got away with it.
This is Evans. He goes down. This is the last tackle coming up then for Warrington. O'Brien hits it wide, looking for the big fellow out there. Laveau, it's claimed by Carney, but it's a knock-on by Carney, and Warrington are turning the screw.
That's all you need to do, as we mentioned, just shortly after the restart, that the way that Warrington's kicking game has been far superior to Castleford. The Tigers having to defend so much deep down in their red zone, and that was another great kick under pressure there. You could see that Joe Monaghan was going for the ball, didn't go for the man. Carney gets the fingertip to it, more pressure.
The two competing for the ball, Monaghan and Carney, obviously it's a contest in the air, there's no problem with that at all. But Michael Bridge was causing a problem at the bottom of the jump for Justin Carney, where the ball is, he's nudged him just as he's going to jump, which caused the problem.
And now Castleford have further problems because they've been penalised at the scrum. So Hill will drive it in. They can't kick for goal from the scrum, of course. Differential penalty, so they have to run it. And here they come with O'Brien and Myler and Laithwaite. He's upended just a couple of metres shy of the line. Michael Monaghan. Monaghan to Myler. Myler then a short ball to Chris Hill. And Chris Hill keeps the legs pumping. And they force him back somehow, the Tigers. Spin him around. He'll play the ball, though, to Mickey Hyam. Here is Asatati!
He's lost it.
He has. The referee's right on top of this, but he wants to check it.
Well, it was a good hit by Millington.
Just check the grounding, he says, so there is a possibility here. Ben Thaler and Steve Ganson. Eagle eyes in the box, Stuart.
Well, the call to check it came from the touch judge. Looking at this, we can... Well, I think he's lost the ball short there. I think Phil Bentham, as you say, was right on top of it. I think he thought it was, but with the touch judge coming in, he's almost duty-bound to check it.
Really? Even though he's right there, look?
Well, he's come round, as you can see, he's come round the back of the post. Okay. So perhaps he wasn't in the best position, but you know, you're as well with the score of this in this sort of game. You know, you're better safe than sorry. You don't want to wake up tomorrow to find out that you were wrong. I think it's clearly no try there. Probably trying to work out what the restart is, which will probably be a knock-on, and we'll see from this. It's a knock-on in the field of play.
So it should be a scrum feed to Cass.
Scrum head and feet to Castleford.
Has anyone ever woken up in the morning and thought they've done the wrong thing?
Well, not the referee on this occasion, is it? He's checked it, and the Tigers had a chance to rest here. Bill MacArthur made the point about Castleford only using 15 of the 17 players so far. So the guys who've been out there for longer than expected, they've had a chance to get some oxygen into their lungs. And they need to work out a way of how to get to the other end of the field pretty quickly in 6 plays. We just saw Warrington do it from the converted penalty goal. We got up to the other end in 5-6 plays because of really fast play of the balls, and that's exactly what Carney's attempting to find right now.
Big effort from those 3 Castleford defenders, Eddie, stopping on that occasion. This performance for the Castleford is more in the spirit of season 2014, where they have charmed everybody, they've lit up the Super League. They're now playing like we've come to expect from Castleford Tigers under Darryl Powell.
So a Castleford penalty, and it's got them to halfway. What can they build from here? Milner is out there, you might have just seen him. Oliver Holmes is still out there.
They've got to try to camp down there and sort of apply the pressure to this Warrington defence, something they haven't done in the second half.
Well, Haraki just adds a little bit of pressure on the second tackle. 22 metres out. Milner to Millington to Clark, and there's Sneed, and it's Dawn, and Dawn has dropped the shoulder. Dawn will go in for the Tigers. Well, they get the penalty, they put Warrington under pressure, they start a set of 6 from inside the Wolves' half of the field, and Luke Dawn, in his 3rd playoff appearance, gets his 17th try of the season, and what a crucial, critical try that might be.
Wonderful to see Luke Dawn come back to top-class form. He'll be the first to say that he struggled. This was the incident with a penalty. It put them 45 metres upfield, put him in a very good position. You could see he knew he was going to get it. Holmes went to the dummy runner. Myler took the dummy, couldn't do anything about it. He's done this throughout his career, Luke Dawn, and he has dragged the Tigers back into this game. It is definitely game on. Can't take dummies under pressure like that.
Well, I think Warrington will remember, if Castleford are in the hunt late on, they do have the ability to nick a game or two. They've done it against Salford, they've done it against Wigan. No doubt they've done it elsewhere on their travels during this incredible season of theirs. This kick from Mark Sneed will put them back within 2. They will be in the hunt. He missed with his first kick. This is almost bang in front. And Mark Sneed doesn't miss those. Castleford 10. Warrington Wolves 12.
The most important thing here, Eddie, is the positioning of Richie Myler when Luke Dorn gets the ball. Richie Myler is outside of Dorn's outside shoulder. That means the opportunity is there for him just to step inside. Richie Myler is going to have very little chance of getting any significant contact. And then we see Mark Sneed miss one earlier, and then the person who knows kicked so many goals this year in Super League, he's managed to knock another one over. Just the 2 points now.
Well, that is the difference between the two sides, isn't it? That missed goal.
Yeah, and let's not forget that a few moments before that, Asatasi went very close to, in many ways, sealing it up, but it was a no try, lost possession, and that one just lack of concentration allowed Castleford to get the penalty, get upfield. They've got the tails up now.
Yes, they have. Fresh legs of Milner has come on. There he is. He's bouncing on his toes. Castleford suddenly getting excited. This is Hubie looking to offload. Then thought better of it. Just over halfway, he gets up and plays the ball to Milner. Here comes Millington. Millington drives the ball forward again.
High kick, that's what's needed here.
And Mark Sneed obliges. It goes high into the night air. It's too long, though. It's too long off the boot of Mark Sneed.
Oh, that is a golden opportunity, and he knows it. Shaking the head in disbelief. Came off the side, outside of the boot on the left foot. And he knows it too.
Do you think Philly was prepared for that kick? He seemed to be very rushed at the last minute. You would expect him to be setting up for the kick as it gets to tackle 3, 4, and 5. Just his positioning on that last, as the ball comes to him and he decides where to kick the ball. It doesn't look like he was secure and settled in his decision making.
Well, you practice for 9 months, don't you? And then effectively his game may be remembered for the 9 kicks that he makes in this match. Still has got the ability to turn the game with 1 or 2 more better options. But we've now really certainly seen the speed of this game increase, Eddie, to a much higher level.
Well, the speed's increased, Castleford's enthusiasm's increased, and suddenly they get a little bit excited. And it was a drag on the arm, and Michael Monaghan loses it. It was good work by Millington. He, amongst everybody in this Castleford side, will be desperate to get to Old Trafford. He missed 6 in a row. And he missed out on the Wembley final, did Grant Millington. His knee injury keeping him out of that. He will want to be there on the big day, if possible.
Well, he's given him a golden chance, hasn't he? You could see how furious with himself Michael Monaghan, the Warrington skipper, realises this could be another turning point. 2 points in it. Desperation. Plenty of time left.
Yes, 20 minutes remaining. Milner. Infield it comes to Sneed. And Sneed gives it to Ellis. And he is completely and utterly enveloped by James Laithwaite.
But you talk about lifting the spirits of a side.
Good ball.
Oh, wonderful run there. Good work by Milner.
Almost through Milner. Halted by Harrison. Here goes Clark. And Clark, has he got the spark that will just turn this match in the Tigers' way? It is now Millington again. He stands, he looks to offload, he gets the ball away, it's bouncing everywhere, it's knocked back, it's knocked back. It's still on the last tackle, and James Clare has got it. He didn't panic, he held on, he gave it to Sneed. Sneed puts the kick in over the top of Joel Monaghan. It's a good kick too, but it beats everybody, Carney included. And Joel Monaghan just has a deep, deep breath.
Good option there by Mark Sneed. You could see that Joel Monaghan was not in a very good position. Good play there. They were working overtime. Channing got a hand to it, and then you see here, they got the kick through. It was chased back just a touch too long. Well, Warrington will not be rushing form in this scrum, that is for sure.
Here's Rhys Evans, but Warrington have to go 90 metres to score now.
Well, full credit to the Tigers, they've had to endure it. for most of the part of the second stanza.
Harrison's all wrapped up.
And now it's turned all around. Can that man there, Darrell Clarke, produce the goods?
Well, Eddie, you asked the question, would Darrell Clarke have an influence in this game? He has been far and away Castleford's most influential player. No breaks last week against St. Helens. Maybe back to you.
Brilliant pass from Ratchford. Brilliant taste from O'Brien. Great try from Warrington. That's what they're capable of. Ratchford with a peach of a ball. And look at what it means to Warrington. Castleford were coming at them, were coming back at them. And then they sweep up the other end of the field. A half break from Ratchford, round the corner pass brilliantly, and wasn't it taken in wonderfully by Gareth O'Brien, one-handed, and he scampered over and scored the try.
Unbelievable break by the fullback. Got them into a good position, and the offload, top draw. Exciting. Look at that. They weren't really aware of it. Myler back on the inside. O'Brien says, I will turn it around. Tremendous fight back.
I think what teams do really is mix and match the strengths of the players within the squad. You've got probably the most creative player in Stephen Ratchford with the two best support players that Warrington have. One laying on the pass to the other. And that mix, that combination has instinctively worked, isn't it? When Ratchford took off from the play the ball area, he knew what he was going to do. And Myler, he had to be on the end of that pass to provide the final one for O'Brien. The Courtier think it was forward. I'm not sure. I thought that was a great try and one worthy of putting him through to week 3.
Well, Gareth O'Brien was on loan here at Castleford last year. And he has come back in 2014, and he might just have haunted the Tigers and put them out of the playoffs. Ratchford's pass made it. His kick will complete it. And the kick is safe. And Warrington have 6 more points, and it's back to an 8-point ball game again.
It's an amazing thing, you know, Stephen Ratchford has moved all over the place, hasn't he? That looks very close to being a touch forward. You can see the arm sort of bending, the fingertips. That maybe confused the official. Either way, there's a man that scored the try. But you've got to give a lot of credit. He's had a great game of Stephen Ratchford, both in defence as well as attack. But, you know, the one thing that Tony Smith has done with Ratchford, and he's done it all the way through this season, is that at times when they've been under pressure, he'll throw Ratchford into the dummy half position. We normally see Mickey Hyam, we normally see Michael Monaghan do it. But on that occasion, Ratchford, quick play of the ball, made the break, offload, end of story.
Well, on the evidence of those 3 tackles that Castleford have just put in, and that one there on Ratchford, they're not turning this in, Castleford, just yet. Bridge takes control of the situation from dummy half. He doesn't make much ground forward, though. Oh, and he's lost the ball, but it's a penalty. It's a penalty to Warrington.
Oh, it's claimed that Holmes has reefed it out. Well, there wasn't just one, there were 2. I think he's just lost that. I really do not think that Holmes or Michael Shenton.
I think his hand's on his arm, isn't it? Causes him to lose the ball.
Did he touch it? That's the biggest problem.
I don't think he did. I don't think he did. He's pulled the arm away, which you're allowed to do, and the ball's come out as a result of that.
So Warrington have the penalty that maybe they shouldn't have got. Can they now turn that advantage into more points on the board? They're looking to here with Ben Curry. And Curry is held, says the referee. He goes down in a heap. Mickey Hyam, Myler, Hill.
Quite content is Warrington to just use the big fellas. Will they do the link now? Yes, it looks like it.
There's O'Brien, back it comes to Ratchford again. He skips away from one challenge. Rhys Evans brilliantly picked up and brilliantly scored by Rhys Evans. The ball was touched in flight, so it was play on. But how about the pickup from Rhys Evans, who has developed this year into an outstanding winger. That's his 18th try of the season, his 27th consecutive appearance here, and I think they know that Castleford's glorious year of 2014 is coming to an end.
Typical Warrington play, good work in the forwards. This was the incident where it looked as though Shenton had a foot to it, an arm to it, should I say, got the penalty. But once they did the work with the forwards, they got the link, 2 half-back. Beautiful stuff from Bratchett, got the ricochet. Rhys Evans did the rest. That should wrap it up. And it was a sensationally worked try as well.
And all the hard work, Steve, was done by Mickey Hyam in around the ruck. A couple of late retreaters and late reloaders for the Castleford Tigers. That man will see him as he looked at his side, unable to get around on time. I think it might have been Craig Hubie, we'll have to be clarified on that. But he was very late to come around and get set. That means the whole side had to tighten up. Mickey Hyam took advantage of that, got the ball out. Well, there he goes, he had it on record, I'm sure, as well. Got a smile to his face, but his team got exposed on that occasion. With some clever dummy half play from Michael Hyam.
As a great winger yourself, Brian, how about that pickup from young Rhys Evans?
I don't know if that's a winger, maybe, but I think he's a fantastic talent, Rhys Evans. He does have to kick on, Eddie. That's a wonderful piece of skill. I think Rhys Evans in his career has got to kick on. There's a wing spot available at this club, the Warrington Wolves. He's got to cement it. And I don't think he's yet convinced Tony Smith that he's the long-term solution for the future. Continued efforts like that will make him very hard to shift out of the position.
Because it took some scoring, that try. It deserved the 6, but Ratchford's boot just couldn't produce that. You're too modest, Brian. Far too modest for your own good.
Oh, honest.
You know, we've seen some great games here this season, Eddie. One when the Tigers lost in the last few minutes, as we see one more evidence of 4 quick passes and them exploiting some space out wide. 12 points behind. They obviously need the ball and they need to score. They have to contest this restart for me here, the Tigers. It's a short one. They need the hands on the ball. There's time for them to get 2 tries. They have to believe they're still in this.
So they've got 12.5 minutes to rescue their season. Castleford.
I can't believe that they've gone for the deep kick. They needed possession badly. It isn't as though they're only 6 points behind. They really needed to go for that short kick. Obviously, they feel confident they can force the error.
Well, the club call will be fascinating tomorrow. Will St Helens go for the lowest placed team? If Huddersfield win, that would be Warrington. If Catalan win, of course, it is the Frenchman. But I just wonder which way they've decided to go at St Helens. We'll know after the match tomorrow at Huddersfield. We'll know who is the lowest placed team. They can't pick Wigan, of course. Wigan and Saints in opposite sides of the draw. And if it was Wimbledon, they'd be seeded to get to Old Trafford.
Well, I agree with the crowd for once. It didn't look to me as though Warrington had gone back to full 10, and they're certainly voicing their opinion.
Adam Milner at dummy half. I'm being chided now because I've said if it was Wimbledon, they'd get to Old Trafford. I'm sure they play rugby league in Wimbledon.
Somebody somewhere knows what you mean.
Well, I do. That's the most important. Wide pass here to Kirk Dixon. Fresh legs. Kirk Dixon. Does he have the fresh ideas? 11 minutes to the full-time siren. Castleford trying everything, and it's not coming off for them. And they've fed Ratchford, and he can go up the middle. Ratchford steps around Dawn. It was a good job that Haraki got a push in on the back. And then he comes in for a second effort. It's just too high.
Yeah, silly swinging arm, Haraki. Mickey Hyam didn't help by pulling him away. But you see quite clearly that the swinging arm from Haraki. Mickey Hyam will get a ticking off too. But what a great game this guy's having. Gets to him and then bang. Well, I've seen red cards for that.
I don't think we'll see one with this one. I think it'll be a penalty, and I think Mickey Hyam will be spoken to for his part in this, because everything was under control there until he came in to try and drag Weller Haraki out of the situation.
Well, it looked malicious.
I'll say again, I've said it during many times during this season, that's a sin bin offence for mine. Just put him in the bin for 10. We have
yeah, but what's wrong with the red card?
Well,
he thinks it's yellow.
Yeah,
basically.
I guess is what I'm saying. We have that facility. He should be off the field for 10 minutes. I said that for about 5 years.
Stuart, would you like to be the arbiter in this argument?
Well, probably the protocols as they are at the moment don't sort of set for that, but you know, protocols can be changed. They don't usually change them in mid-season. They certainly won't change them now, but the off-season's upon us. There's the chance to change them if they want to.
Well, Wella Haraki stays on the field. The incident is not on report. And Stefan Ratchford, who was the victim, he has been cleared A-OK, and as you can see, he has elected to take another shot at goal, which would just about secure Warrington's place in week 3 of these playoffs. Seventh away fixture this in playoff history for Warrington since they made it for the first time in 2003. They've won just 2 of the previous 6, so it's a big win for Warrington tonight. And there's another 2 points to the total. Ratchford's boot, safe and sound, 24 points to 10. Warrington are on the way to week 3. Castleford are on the way off on holiday.
Well, the crowd are happy, and I'm sure that Tony Smith will be very pleased indeed, especially with the performance of the fullback, Stefan Ratchford. Remember, Matty Russell badly injured last week. So once again, Ratchford dropped back into the fullback position. Something he's done all through the season. Well, he's such a talented player.
This is the 8th time Steve-O he's played in that position. I think it's his preferred position. Sorry, the position I think I prefer to see him play in. If he does fill out as a player and get a little later on in his career, I could see him play at loose forward, the same role that Sean O'Loughlin plays. He's certainly a very talented player.
Well, in the early days, they thought perhaps he would settle in as a standoff. But I'm with you, Brian. I think that he has more room to work and operate, and I think he likes that. That should be a penalty, surely, wasn't that a Shepherd?
In the first 10 weeks of the season, it was.
I think he went into reverse, didn't he, and came back the other way.
Yeah, he realised what was happening, stopped, but he did actually go behind his own man, so he could be deemed to have gained an advantage.
Well, they're playing for fun now, Warrington, and Monaghan is in for another try. Joel Monaghan, 2nd try of the night, 3 last week against Widnes, 2 here tonight against Castleford, and they are there now. They are 80 minutes away from a 3rd successive Old Trafford, and Castleford's season comes crumbling around their ears.
Well, they don't deserve it, do they? The effort, the skill, the enjoyment they provided this season, it's a sad end for the Castleford side and their fans here. It's probably, well, you've heard what I've said this year. No coach has done what he's done in the last 20 years to improve a side as much as the Castleford team have. But tonight, they've been outplayed here, haven't they? Decision went against them. Well, it should have been a penalty, but that nice offload again we saw in the last play. The Wolves have preferred to keep the ball alive if they've got a player in a better position. And Joel Monaghan, he just continues this habit of scoring tries. I thought he was going to leave the field earlier in this match when he had a serious knock onto his right knee. He's bounced back up, bounced over the line for another try.
And it makes you wonder, Eddie, how on earth did Joel Monaghan miss out on the dream team? Because it has been a dream season for this fella.
Well, it's a vote, Steve-O, by all concerned. 5 points for your best winger, 3 points for your 2nd best, and 1 point for your 3rd best. And the panel, however big, small, or whatever it is, they have chosen. And that's an argument for another time. Only one Warrington player in the dream team, and that was Chris Hill, the prop forward. No place for this fellow, Stefan Ratchford. And, well, there you go. When it goes for you, it goes for you. And he shakes his head. He knows he's just been a little bit lucky there, but 30 points to 10, there's nothing lucky about this win.
Not at all, and nothing lucky about Joel Monaghan's ability to score tries. Eddie, when he gets this ball, he's heading towards the sideline with 2 men chasing him hard. He instantly sums up the situation, comes off his right foot and dives through a Sneed attempt to tackle to score. He's a marvellous finisher.
Well, can Castleford give their supporters something to remember them by? Can Darrell Clark give them something to remember him by before he disappears to Warrington next year? He gets the penalty anyway. Oh, there's a sin bin now.
Yeah, professional foul. He won't mind. Neither will Tony Smith. Trying to go on his own.
So Rhys Evans in the sin bin. Joel Monaghan goes over to the other side of the field. I thought he was heading off to the sin bin at one stage, but then Rhys Evans walked behind the line on the far side. This, it's touched, it's play on. It's almost an interception try there on the way for Joel Monaghan again. No way through for Sneed. Back it comes to Millington. Atkins gets to him. Atkins gets the ball away as he falls. Sneed, though, it's great defence from Atkins. Here is Holmes. Holmes to Lynch. Lynch a short ball to Ellis. Ellis then to Haraki. Here is Dawn. Touched again. Back to 0. Michael Channing. Michael Channing. Channing on his own. And very much on his own. Couldn't get the ball away.
Isn't it amazing? Castleford realised that the game's over, and now they're testing their arm. They're keeping it alive. They're doing everything. Maybe they should have been doing that about 25 minutes ago. Taking more risks. I called for it. They didn't produce it. But now it's as though they want to finish with a flourish and give these loyal fans something to cheer about before the final hooter.
Clark again. Here's the pass to Ellis. Tries the pass to Hubie. Hubie gets it away. Back it comes to Sneed. Over the top from Sneed. Holmes, and Shenton scores in the corner. Michael Shenton, the Castleford Tigers captain. He got to the grand final with St Helens in 2001.
Eddie, look at this kick from Mark Sneed.
2011, sorry, Brian.
Under pressure here, though. What about that? He's got the ball, split second, kicked it with the outside, I believe, of his left boot. It's Craig Hubie that turns it up in the middle and pushes it back quite deep. Once the ball gets from Millington to Mark Sneed, in an instant, it's a kick past Oliver Holmes and on to Michael Shenton. It shows you what they can do and what they have done this season, Phil, in attack.
If that's the last score in this game, then it's a fitting end to Casper's season. It had improvisation, it had skill, ingenuity, and it typified what the Tigers have produced for the home support this season.
You're right. It's too little, too late tonight, sadly.
Yeah, good thinking, though. As I said, on that occasion, nice offload from Hubie, and then they kept it going. Millington fed, and then the kick from, and out wide Shenton. He's had a good season.
He's had a great season. He's another member of the Dream Team, and as I say, grand final with Saints in 2011, a try in that match against Leeds, and he was in the National League One grand final teams for Castleford in 2005, 2007 against Whitehaven and Widnes. He's been around a while as Michael Shenton. It's been a super year for him as well. But 3 minutes to go. It's all over, Rover, for Castleford.
Yeah, and in many ways, Eddie, it is a shame because they produced some magnificent rugby league football this season. And I'd like to pay tribute as well to those loyal fans who kept turning up here. They have turned this ground around. It's a pleasure to be here. They've been producing that great rugby league, haven't they? They just run out of steam at the end, sadly.
Yes, they have. Darrell will tell you himself that they haven't been playing well lately. He was just hoping that they would maybe produce the goods when it mattered tonight. They've given Warrington a fight, there's no doubt about that. They're certainly better than they were last week, and here comes Dawn again. But Warrington just too good on the night, really. Match won in the opening 70 minutes of this match, the last 10. Castleford fans will remember it. No, maybe they won't, because here goes Monaghan. Oh, he stopped then. He thought that he'd been pulled back for offside. Is it another hat-trick for Monaghan? Yes, it is. No, it isn't. Oh, Darrell Clark
did well.
They'll talk about that in pre-season training. But he was lame after 6 or 7 minutes, Joel Monaghan.
I think that's the reason why he stuttered. He made the intercept, made the break, and then sort of probably felt a twinge in the knee.
Wood. Paul Wood, tackled by opposite number Oliver Holmes. Michael Monaghan, Gareth O'Brien, Waterhouse. Just short. Is he injured, Waterhouse? Well, he gets up a bit gingerly,
he's running freakily. He's running himself to a standstill like a lot of them out there. OK, let's have a 1 point just to finish it. Come on, Stefan, where are you?
Anthony England will play it here to Michael Monaghan. Back it comes to Richie Myler. Myler slides the kick through. That's too long. So last minute of this great season for Castleford, that's all gone slightly awry since the last weekend of August when they walked out at Wembley for the Challenge Cup final. They've not been able to recover from that. The mental and physical fatigue of that occasion has cost them dearly in the playoffs.
No, but with the financial and physical resources, they've won my vote for Team of the Year, Eddie. What they've achieved, fantastic. To get their first home playoff game is a great effort. You know, when you consider what they've had behind them and the experience and the money behind Warrington, it's amazing that this game's being played in Castleford rather than at the home of the Wolves. They've done well to get this far, and that isn't fair praise. That really is. I think they've done a remarkable job, and well done to everybody at the club who's helped to achieve that.
Here to that.
Eddie, you posed a question a couple of occasions. Who will St Helens select? We know we've got Huddersfield Catalan, should I say, tomorrow. Oh, neat little work there.
Dixon.
And that should just about do it.
It will.
But I think that Warrington have shown enough tonight to maybe say we don't want them.
Well, they finished in the coveted 5th position. Remember what Leeds did from there in 2011 and 2012, and the 5th place team in Super League has got a decent record in these playoffs. Darrell Clark has given his all for the cause this year. He'll be a Warrington Wolf next year. And Warrington march on, but for Craig Hubie, for Darrell Clark, for Mark Sneed, for Jamie Ellis, for Wella Huraki, this marvellous Castleford adventure is over for good. They are moving on, and Castleford will rebuild and will come back stronger, no doubt, and certainly with a bigger desire, if that's possible, in 2015.
Well, a performance tonight by the Warrington Wolves will, I'm sure, have pleased their coach, Tony Smith. They really did control it very early in the game. Their defence was pretty solid. And it was only in certain instances that the Tigers, they played some good stuff at the time, but when it did come, they were a little bit flexible late in the game, but it was far too late. Warrington had taken control of the game, but as I say, I give a lot of praise. Well done to you, Castleford fans.
And they will go home singing Sweet Caroline, which has become their anthem here at the Menderhose Jungle in 2014. It's been a season to remember for them, and it could well be a grand final to remember for this fellow. Stefan Ratchford, he's got the Man of the Match award tonight. He's talking to Bill.
Steph, congratulations on the Man of the Match performance. This potentially was a really tough game coming here, a lot at stake for Castleford Tigers. You think you did a pretty good job in the end?
Yeah, it was pretty good tonight. Like I said, Cass have been, probably a standout team this year. And, we turned up here at Easter and had a big defeat against us. So we knew it was going to be a tough game. But, after last week, that was probably a blip for us. We've been good the previous few weeks and, wanted to put things right tonight. And I think we did that.
You got through a mountain of defensive work in the first half. Maybe got your attack going in the second.
Yeah, it was a bit frustrating for start. We spoke about Cass being a quality attacking side and to give them as much possession as we did. It was great to the boys to only be concede one try, and like I said, we control the ball a lot better second half, and we showed what we can do with our attack.
80 minutes from Old Trafford now, from a return to Old Trafford.
Yeah, it's we're just going 1 week at a time. Like I said, it was pretty scrappy last week and managed to scrape through. So the focus was just a big game against Cass, and now we'll turn to next week.
Thanks, Stefan. Well done, the Man of the Match.
Yes,
we can hear from Michael Shenton, the Castleford Tigers captain now. Michael, thanks for talking to us. It does seem as though, these last few weeks of the season, you have probably run out of steam.
I don't know, yeah, we just haven't been playing how we've done all year. I suppose you could say it's took its toll, but I think in parts of that game today we showed glimpses of what we can do. Just not got an 80-minute performance at the minute, and just absolutely gutted now it's all come to an end this year, because it's been a special one for us, well, nearly special, but we made some big strides this year, building on as a club, as a team, so hopefully bigger and better things next year for us.
When the dust has settled and you look back at what you've achieved, the Challenge Cup final appearance, 4th place in the table, your best finish, a home playoff tie.
Yeah, we kind of put ourselves in a great position to do something this year, and to kind of fall away like we did at the back in the years. It's disappointing at the minute, but maybe, like you say, in a few weeks we can look back and maybe think we can take a lot of positives out this year, but at the moment it hurts as well.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks for talking to us. Opposite number, Mick Monaghan. That was, I mean, you know, neither side was probably firing on all cylinders, and nevertheless, it was still a tough playoff tie.
Yeah, it was. You know, we had a tough one last week, and when you come in here, they probably hadn't been in the best form, and you know, the Challenge Cup final would probably hurt them a little bit and getting over that. But we knew they'd come here tonight and they'd be ready to go tonight. And you know, it's easy to be gracious after a win, but you know, I think the way they play footy, it's it's entertaining and great to watch.
I noticed you said that in tonight's match programme. They have probably been, you know, with all respect to Warrington Wolves as well, but they've probably been one of the entertaining sides of the season. Yeah, they have. You know, they've done it with a squad that people didn't expect much of, but you know, making a cup final and all that's great. But just the footy they play, I really enjoy watching, and you know, I think the coach should be pretty proud of that. And like I said, it's easy to say that after a win, but you know, I think they've got a lot of you know, good players there, and they play some real good footy. Do you think you're in good shape for a run to Old Trafford now?
Well, we're one of 4 teams that can still win it, so you know, we're as good a shape as any. I've got a few injuries at the moment, got some blokes missing and some guys playing hurt at the moment, but that time of year probably most teams do. So you know, we'll lick our wounds and try and get blokes ready for next week, and you know, find out who we play tomorrow and get ready for that.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for talking to us, and Tony Smith as well for joining us. As you know, your captain's just said, neither side really firing on all the cylinders tonight. You still managed to make it a really compelling game.
Yeah, we weren't with the ball. I thought defensively we were outstanding. I thought our D was really strong and had good line speed and covered for each other. You know, that first half, and we conceded that try from the kick, but aside from that, I thought we were pretty good. We can improve with the ball, that's for sure, but they're a good team, and they've had a tremendous year and deserve all the accolades that they're receiving at the moment, and that they've received so far this year. It's a tough thing to back up after the Challenge Cup, regardless of whether you win it or you don't. And it's hard to play week in, week out when some other teams have had a break and we've had a break, and we're feeling pretty good at the moment, even though we've got a couple of people, you know, still to come back from injury.
Do you think, from what you've learned the last couple of years going to Old Trafford, you're in a good position to handle what's ahead of you now?
No different. No, you know, no different. There's so many circumstances. We were in a good position going into the grand final last year. You know, that's way off. That's way off. We're working week in, week out. Everybody's in the same boat as us. Last week we were do or die. Everybody's in the same situation. We're through. Next game for everybody is, you know, do or die right throughout. So it's who can handle the pressure of that. And so each year's a new year. We're no better or worse than where we were last year.
Thanks, Tony.
Thanks, mate.
And finally, Daryl Powell joins us, and thanks, Daryl, because I mean, this is the end of what has been, and for a neutral, what has been a fantastic season. You've had the Warrington captain, Michael Monaghan, saying you've probably been the entertainers of the competition this year. Tony Smith paying credit to you, and yet it's probably no great comfort, is it?
No, obviously we're really disappointed. You know, we thought at home tonight could have come up with a performance that would have got us the result. We're disappointed. I thought when we got back to 12-10 there, we looked like we could do something, but you know, we just couldn't quite pull our game together to get what we wanted. And you know, credit to Warrington, they hung in there and got the points when they needed to. So we're really disappointed that we finished the season in this way. But you know, our boys, the club, everybody involved, coaching staff, all been awesome. So we've had a fair old journey, and we should learn a lot from this season. So you know, we'll look to step up next year. It's going to be massive for us.
Well, when you think how close this club has come in the last few years to hitting the buffers, to be able to have a night like this, to have done what you've done this season, it's pretty remarkable, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I think we've done a good job. You know, we just wanted to take the next step, and we've had a couple of things that we've been shooting for, and we haven't quite hit the target, and you know, that makes the hurt a little bit more painful. So from that perspective, that's what really is getting us at the moment. We've been so close, and we just haven't quite been good enough to get the prize when we've needed to. But they're the lessons. You know, we've had to learn some tough ones. We'll reshape the squad next year, and we'll look to take the next step. I think we're capable of doing it. You know, the attitude's there, the the infrastructure, the will to do it at the club is there. So fingers crossed we can get a bit of joy next year instead of the pain when it's come to the end of the competitions.
I'll tell you what, Daryl, you have given some great entertainment on Sky and for the fans who've come here as well.
Yeah, boys have been great. Just the way they've approached everything we've tried to do, and you know, the attitude I thought was great tonight. We've had a pretty big season, but we like winning, and we just haven't been able to do that at the end. And but you know, boys, it's been an awesome effort from everybody.
Thanks, Daryl. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, thank you.
Yes, it's been an awesome effort from him as well. A great coach, Daryl Powell, and they will come back next year. They will regroup. They have to, because certain players are leaving this club, moving on. So they will regroup. They will come back, and I bet there won't be many tipping them at the start of next season that they will be battling away at the end against relegation, because they have done anything but that in 2014. They have given their fans, they've given us on Sky TV, they have given everybody some wonderful, wonderful moments and memories to take us through the winter months. But just short when it mattered in the cup final, and here tonight it's Warrington Wolves who march on to week 3.
Looks like a job for the old magic sponge.
Good girl, Phoebe. Nice and calm today. Karen, I've got a cat with no pulse here. I need adrenaline and an IV line. Quick as you can, please.
See you tomorrow.
How about a glass of water to cool you down, Billy? Straight from our new American-style fridge freezer from Beko. It's got clever NeoFrost technology with 2 separate cooling systems. One keeps the freezer completely dry, frozen and frost-free, while the other keeps the right level of moisture in the fridge so fresh food stays as fresh as it can be. Our customers are as happy as you are, Billy. They've given our range of American-style fridge freezers, large-capacity washing machines and built-in ovens an average of 9 out of 10. Search online to see what they're saying for yourself.
It can take only this much dust for most other vacuums to lose suction. But my new vacuum uses oscillating Dyson kinetic cyclones to capture that dust. And more. Crucially, in its lifetime, it never loses suction.
Get up to £100 off Dyson upright and cylinder technology when you trade in any vacuum. Available at participating retailers. Find out more at dyson.co.uk.
Listen to your favourite authors anywhere with Audible.
It was barely a quarter of a mile, probably only 800 steps, but it was one of the most important walks of my life.
In my hand was a gold conical torch. I was unbelievably nervous, my hands sweating and my legs juddering.
I was one of 8,000 people chosen to carry the Olympic flame.
There's always time to listen. Start your 30-day free trial at audible.co.uk/Sky.
Ah, Jeff. Come and see our bonding demonstration. We're showing how the active ingredients of Colgate Total bond to protect the whole mouth. That's what makes it so different from many other toothpastes.
You mean like this? Its unique technology bonds to teeth, gums, tongue, cheeks, in fact 100% of your mouth, protecting it for 12 hours.
Yes, Jeff. Now, come bond with us.
Colgate Total. Superior protection from the mouth experts. #1 toothpaste brand used by dentists.
It wasn't too long ago that some people were tempted into buying mortgages that weren't really right for them. Sometimes borrowing more than they should. TSB want to help people borrow well. That's why they do their best to help their customers choose a mortgage that suits them at a cost they can afford. And why with a TSB mortgage, millions of people could be thousands of pounds better off.
This September, Europe take on the USA in the Ryder Cup. And you can watch all the drama on Sky Go. Whether it's on your tablet or your smartphone, don't miss a moment of the greatest team competition in golf.
It's Europe's Ryder Cup.
Watch the four balls, foursomes, or final day singles. Whenever you want, wherever you are.
Are you kidding me?
The Ryder Cup on Sky Go.
Sky Sports, your home of sport. Whenever you want, wherever you are.
Looks like a job for the old magic sponge.
Well, they've been singing Sweet Caroline here at the Mendehouse Jungle all season. Now they can start singing The Carnival is Over. And it is, I'm afraid, for 2014 for the Castleford Tigers. Warrington have won by 30 points to 14. The players, the coaching staff saying farewell to the loyal band of supporters, many of whom are staying on the terraces just to see this great season out. And a disappointing end, really, for Darryl Powell. Going so well for so long. And at the end of the day, just pulling up short in the Challenge Cup final and pulling up short here tonight in what, in effect, was the quarter-final of the playoffs. But a brave effort from them, Brian, but Warrington, they look primed, don't they, for Old Trafford? And John, of course.
They certainly do, Eddie. Thanks very much. Look, we spoke before the game and you posited the question, could Castleford's ruck defence deal with what Warrington threw at them? I want to start by asking you how you thought they did in that particular aspect of play across the 80 minutes of the game.
Out of sight better from last week. Not good enough to win the game is the short answer, and I will try and illustrate that in the first clip we've got. This was 54 minutes. This was the first time I feel they got around the ruck. You see how it starts. Passive markers, too close because Asatazi had won the ruck, and then again it has a roll-on effect. Players being left on the floor. Arguably that could have been a penalty. Quick play the ball. Once again able to take yards, take them easily. And at this point, Cass feel, as a defender, you feel like you've been marched back upfield. And they're three very easy plays that have gained them 50 metres upfield. And that then, for me, it was the Asatazi got a no-try at the end of that. And it was that to me was the potential breaking point.
All right, let's try and give a synopsis of the second half. It was 10-4 at half-time to Warrington Wolves. That became 12-4 after Stefan Ratchford's penalty. And then Luke Dorn showed us some of the magic that he's produced this season, but hasn't produced in recent games.
Right, have a look at Luke Dorn in here, coming in support of a play. Now, keep your eye on him, because he watches all these players disappear this side, and the full-back start to pull men over, and then, have a look, last minute, disappears off the edge of your screen, right at the very last minute. There he is, far right of your screen now, creates the extra man, at a time when everybody else is trying to number up in what's in front of them.
He's got some gas as well.
He's got a lot of pace, which gets him outside of Bridge and inside of Myler. Question marks over Myler's decision-making there, but I'll put that down to a good try by Don.
Right, that gave the Castleford Tigers 10 points to Warrington Wolves, 12, just 2 points in it. And then the Holy Trinity for the Warrington Wolves, the 1, 7 and 6. They hit in spectacular fashion, really. Stefan Ratchford creating this try.
Immediately, the riposte to the Dawn try, and for me, the try of the match. I think this is, again, what we were talking about. Winning the ruck. Again, that extra effort there from Chris Hill to push through leaves men either on the floor or too close. Once again taken advantage of. That is a top-class offload. That's a line ball for me. That's fantastic. And I thought O'Brien did really well with his right hand to cover up as well.
18 points to 10. John, can you give us a quick summary, if you would, of Castleford's season as you see it?
Castleford, I'm a Castleford lad. This is where I come from. This is where I grew up. This is a community club. It's a two-way deal. The community lifts the club, and the club benefit immeasurably from that. And I think both have benefited from that mutual deal this season, and that's credit to everybody involved in the club. But they're now done for 2014. All eyes must fall on Warrington and who St Helens pick.
OK, well, we've got still more playoffs to go. It ends for the Castleford Tigers now. Well, 2014, surely a memorable season for their players and their supporters, Eddie.
Fantastic year, fantastic summer for Castleford Tigers, but it is all over now, so it is now confined to the history books. This time last week there were 8 teams left in the Super League playoffs. Now there are 5. Tomorrow there will be 4. We know that Warrington are there. We know that they are in the mix for the club call. I think St Helens will not touch them with a barge pole.
I agree. So what you're saying is that Warrington will be going to Wigan in a rematch of the game we saw recently, which was one of the best games we've had, isn't it? Wigan won in the end, but Warrington could have almost snatched it in that last minute. I tipped it as the grand final. I don't think it will happen because, like you, I think Warrington will end up travelling to Wigan next week, but we're almost going to get a treat in that game, and whoever St Helens choose to play as well. So I think we're going to get 3 of the best games of the season at the end of the season, which is what we want the competition to be about.
And I think we can say that, Steve, with almost certainty, despite what might happen tomorrow. You know, Huddersfield or Catalan, I think St Helens would fancy their chances there, and that's probably doing Huddersfield and the Dragons a real disservice. But I think, you know, and I think everyone knows where I'm coming from.
Yeah, look, this Warrington outfit, they've got so many key players that can turn a game. You know, we saw Ratchford tonight, absolutely superb, you know, and you've got to give a lot of credit to Tony Smith for the way that he's created the way that Ratchford plays. That move where he jumps in, he's been doing it all season. When they're about 25 metres from their own line, Ratchford jumps into dummy half. He can see that maybe the first and second mark are a little bit slow in what he did, and he just turned the game. And there's no way in the world, I think, that Saints will say, we want to play those guys, because they know they've got, you know, the Monaghan brothers, they can turn a game on a sixpence, and they will not want to play them.
Well, to be fair, Eamon McManus will make the choice on behalf of St Helens in our studio tomorrow, but you might have got a hint of it on Boots and All last night when we spoke to Paul Anderson. He said, well, Brownie, Eamon McManus, Mike Rush, they'll all have got together. I think Paul Anderson is preparing, if they get through tomorrow, that they're going to Saints.
I don't think Paul Anderson's thinking about next week
yet,
is he? No. He has to. After what happened last week to his side, he can only think about the next 80 minutes. They've probably trained for about 80,000 minutes this year to get here now to a test that takes 80 minutes, and it's a simple pass or fail. There is no other option, is there really? They have to pass the test, the Giants, to, I think, lift the support again. But, boy, what a test it'll be after the way they played last week.
We're not writing the Catalan Dragons off, are we? Despite the fact that Saturday night they will have had to fly home. Yesterday they'll have had to fly back. Or today they've had to fly back for tomorrow.
Well, they talk about momentum, and that's probably one of the reasons why Warrington came here pretty buoyed by the fact that they played okay. Okay, they got away with it against Widnes, but sometimes you've got to do that. You've got to play ugly and win the game. They didn't play ugly tonight. And I also agree with Tony Smith in the way that their defence tonight was absolutely superb. And that's another reason why I think that St Helens will say, you know, they've had so many stars out, St Helens. It's been a magnificent year for them. To get that the situation whereby they got the silverware. But the one thing, you know, I'm watching these fans here, and they're saying farewell to their players at Castleford. And I just think to myself, you know, they actually made 2 finals, didn't they? In effect, they went to Wembley. OK, they didn't play all that well. And they also went for a final where they could have got the league leaders trophy down in Catalan. They didn't play well on that. You know, if you started the season and said, we'll get to a position where we could win in 80 minutes, 2 trophies, it's not bad.
No, they've had a great year. They really have. A fabulous year. It's all come to an end for the Castleford Tigers. But for Warrington and the other 4 clubs still in, it still is alive. And by the way, the Ryder Cup begins in the morning. Day 1, the 4 balls, and then the foursomes. Set your alarm clocks early. I'll be there at 7 a.m. in the morning on the Sky Sports Ryder Cup channel. One of the greatest sporting events in the world. And we'll be following that up at 7:30 on Sky Sports 1 with that Huddersfield against Catalan Dragons at 7:30 for the remaining place to go forward into the club call, which follows the match at the John Smith Stadium. Club call follows tomorrow night. Who will St Helens choose? Will it be Huddersfield or Catalan, or will it be the Warrington Wolves? We shall find out this time tomorrow night. But Castleford take their leave from 2014, and we do as well from the Tigers tonight. Goodbye. O'Brien, great try from Warrington, and brilliantly scored by Rhys Evans.
Enjoy Sky Sports Live. On all screens, on the go, and the best bits on demand.
Last tackle. He's looking for the crossfield kick. And it's worked a treat.
Like a well-oiled machine.
Isuzu D-Max sponsors Sky Sports coverage of the Super League.
Here's the man. An accumulator comes in for him. And what does he do? Treats his mates to a day at the track, that's what. You don't get a nickname like that by hiding in the toilets when it's your round. He's your everyday Santa Claus. But now Christmas is over. Join in with the new Ladbrokes app.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide? No escape from reality. Open your eyes. Look up to the skies and see.
Discover your smile. Thompson, Adult Protected.
Pre-order now, only on Xbox. Now starting at $329.99.
products from? Could they be buying British? Should they be buying British? And also think of the implications, positive consequences of buying more British products.
Good stuff. James, thank you very much. And if you wanted a motivation, there are discounts on British goods all around the UK today. Back to you.
Don, thanks very much. If you're wondering where Sally's gone, which you probably are.
You're a bit lonely there.
Yeah, a bit lonely. She's gone outside to meet some pigs, and we'll see those in just a moment. It's a rare breed of pig being used by conservationists in the latest weapon in their fight to preserve and restore threatened heathland in Dorset. Normally, it would be an expensive piece of machinery. This time, it's something more unusual. As I mentioned, a rare breed of hairy pig. Breakfast, Tim Muffet now reports.
For a Mangalitsa pig, it's a job to relish. Restore part of the RSPB's Arne Nature Reserve in Dorset to the pristine heathland it once was.
Ordinarily, we need to bring contractors in to scrape off this material here, which is the litter that you get from the trees that have been stood here for the past 50 years. So instead of using the big machines, what we've tried to do is use our little mini bulldozers to come in and snuffle around and hopefully get rid of that litter layer. This is quite experimental. I don't know of pigs being used in this way before.
Mangalitsas were originally bred for their lard or pig fat. But as demand fell, so did their numbers. They became extinct in the UK 40 years ago. But having been reintroduced in 2006, their popularity is growing, not just with gourmet butchers, but some conservationists who believe they've another key role to play.
I mean, as a pig, you can see what they're doing. They're shuffling around, going through all the roots, turning over that litter layer that we need to reduce.
More effectively than a tractor or a lawnmower or anything like that?
I think it would be a lot more effective than using a tractor, also a lot more cost efficient and a lot more sustainable in the long run.
What is it about the Mangalitsa which makes it suitable for this task?
Well, because they're outdoors here and they'll be out here even in the winter, and obviously it's going to get pretty blowy and cold, could snow. You can see they've got a lot of hair on them. They look like a sheep or a bear. Well, they've got incredibly strong neck muscles, and those snouts, although they're very soft and sensitive, are still able to kind of push through brambles and stinging nettles.
The hope is that after a year or so, the site will go from this to this.
Heathland typically consists of sandy soil and plants such as heather and gorse. It supports an array of wildlife, dragonflies, beetles, lizards, but it's an environment under threat. Over the past 200 years, it's thought 80% of it has disappeared.
And Natural England, which advises the government on environmental issues, believes effective use of natural grazing could be the key to restoring it.
Quality of management on that land needs to be more well thought out, and this sort of slow grazing with pigs and other animals is absolutely fantastic for nature. You don't get dung with machinery, and that's a really important thing for a lot of insects. And the way they graze means that you have little niches, little bumps and scrapes in the ground, which provide places for wildflowers to seed.
They will take much longer than machinery, but for now, the Mangalitsas are getting on with what they do best. There's a lot of snuffling ahead. Tim Muffet, BBC News, Dorset.
I made it outside, everybody. Look, we're outside, not very farmyardy, but look who's joined us. We have some of our own pigs here this morning. Look at them. They've just woken up. As Tim said in his report, they are quite woolly, and they've been making some lovely piggy-type sound effects. I'm joined this morning by Lisa Hodgson and Tim Otterburn, who own these beautiful animals. Come in, come in, come in. Now, we have 3 of them here. What are they like?
Temperamental, they're absolutely brilliant. It's like having puppies. They're really, really nice-natured.
And why did you start breeding these?
Because the meat's just so healthy and the fat, and they're just absolutely fabulous creatures.
And so you're not using it for the same reason that we saw in Tim's report, are you? Because they're known as the mini bulldozer. What makes them so good at that?
They're very determined when they start digging. Concrete, tree roots, they'll move anything.
Now, Lisa, you're going to show me how friendly these pigs are. We're going to feed one, aren't we? Let's have a look. Let's have a good look at these pigs. Now, what do they like? This is their breakfast, everybody. Very healthy breakfast. Let's have a look. This is cherry tomatoes.
Yes.
So what do I do?
You just hold one down like this.
Okay, come on, here we go.
They're really gentle.
Sorry if you're having your breakfast, everybody, but there's... Oh, aren't they cute? And there's another one. Right, anything else more than a cherry tomato? Right. Now, you're saying you're saying these are actually bred to be eaten?
Yes, these are bred for meat. In fact, these are 7 months old, but these won't be on anybody's plate until they're almost 2 years old.
And also, historically, the fat was very important from these pigs, wasn't it?
It's very healthy, and it's absolutely fabulous quality fat. It's full of... it's full of omega-3, oleic acid. It's high in all sorts of wonderful things. And they used to use it for beauty products as well. But it has absolutely no smell or flavour. You can use it for sweet and savoury products.
Well, we'll let you carry on giving them their breakfast. Lisa and Tim, thank you very much indeed. Time now to get the news, travel and weather where you are this morning.
Good morning, hello, welcome to Look North Breakfast. We'll get the weather with Claire in just a moment, but first, businesses in Rotherham have started a petition calling for new laws to help ban protests in the town. They say they're fed up with dealing with the impact of far-right demonstrations. Last month, over 1,000 people from the far-right groups, including English Defence League, marched through Rotherham. 1,500 police were drafted in, and some businesses say they had no choice but to close. Well, tomorrow, around 200 people from Britain First are expected there. Traders say something has to be done to minimise the impact on the town and its economy. Coming up on BBC Radio Sheffield, Toby Foster and the team are going to be talking more about this just after 8 o'clock this morning. Police in Thailand say 2 Burmese men have apparently confessed to killing a Leeds University student. David Miller, who was 24, was studying engineering at Leeds. He was found dead on a beach last month, along with 23-year-old Hannah Withridge. Both had severe head injuries. David's funeral will take place in Jersey later on today. And police in Sheffield are still looking for a 14-year-old girl who's been missing now since Wednesday afternoon. Courtney Brown was last seen at round about 2 o'clock at her home on Manchester Road in Deepcar. Now, the police believe that she had planned to travel towards Attercliffe with her friends. Parliament's spending watchdog is criticising a decision to give millions of pounds to Drax Power Station near Selby and a wind farm off the Yorkshire coast. They were among 8